Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
Hello, I'm Dan.
We've got some merch on tomanddan.com.
We do.
We're about to have new merch, including some masks, some better quality masks.
And I'm just gonna say something right now. I don't normally go all in on any of the merch that we put out because I have a tendency to think that we most of the merch we sell is garbage.
But straight Chinese garbage.
It's just straight Chinese garbage. But these new Tom and Dan masks, and I don't think we have all the designs in yet, but man, they're phenomenal. And my kid loves hers. She has the BDM ladies mask, and it has like a little lip kiss on the side. It's black. It says BDM ladies. My daughter, it's the only mask she'll wear. So I need to benevolently ask all of you if I may steal 2 of the child-sized masks.
Yep.
I was going to say, we'll have to think about that.
She does not want her other mask. It is the most comfortable mask. It's even got a chin bump for those of you with beards. But I'm just saying right now, it's a great damn mask.
I'm going to have to order more, I just realized, because
they're great.
They're going to sell. Plus, we're pricing them for as cheap as possible, and then any profit that is made, which unfortunately will be not that much.
Wow, they're really nice.
We'll donate to Yellow Brick Road Foundation.
Adjustable ears. They've got a space inside, like a folded space inside, where you can put an actual filter if you want to rock one of those. If you're maybe you're a first responder or something and you need to do that. But they're great. So anyway, those will be up very, very soon. On the line with us right now, and he does not have an intro, but he should. And I made one for Business Baby, who I believe we're talking to a little bit later today. But on the line with us right now is one of your creations. It is Business Bro.
Tom, Dan, and Sam, what's up, dudes?
What's up?
He always, some would say that if you graded this bit based on enthusiasm and his presentation, it's a great bit.
Yeah.
But as far as stock tips, I don't know. I don't know about that.
So Business Bro, you haven't heard this yet because we've actually been recording some shows so that we're going to be off in like 3 or 4 weeks, and we're preparing for that. And I think during one of those shows, an actual real stockman called up and was very angry at you, Business Bro, and saying that
he said you did not know your ass from a hole in the ground.
He is an amateur hour. He was saying that
nobody uses Robinhood.
Well, he said it was an amateur thing. Right. Now I defended you, Business Bro.
He did,
and I said Business Bro is more.
He's my bro.
He's more of an all around everyday regular man's stock tips.
Sure.
Not necessarily really in depth for the professionals, like people that are really into it. You're more in for the novice, for the people just getting
into it.
It's kind of like a nice way of saying you're not very good at it.
Well,
what say you, Business Bro?
Uh-oh. I'll make up for it now.
Yeah, see, it comes with something funny. I'm sorry, we all have COVID in here, and I refuse to tell people.
Honestly.
My God.
So you're more of for the amateur, right, Business Bro? For the people just getting into stocks and whatnot?
Just say yes and do your bit.
Total amateur.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
So
give it to us straight.
Yeah, what do we got today?
So last time we discussed medical marijuana stocks, and let's just say I got high on my own supply, whatever that means. But are you guys ready to rock out with your stock out?
Yeah.
That's not doing it for me this time.
The novelty's worn off.
I laughed. I laughed with my wife at dinner that night. The first time he said rock out with your stock out, but now I hear it and I'm just I don't know. That was so 2 weeks ago.
Well, the first time we laughed when Samantha told us, and we're like, that's hilarious. We're like, this guy's got the goods.
Yeah.
Then you laughed with your wife. I laughed later that day.
Yeah.
Then we laughed when you did it on the show. Then
it's run its course.
Yeah.
Now when you just did it, well, I was like, I felt sad.
But there's a 35% chance we'll laugh next week though. Or in next month. I don't know how often
we
Tom
can't do it every week.
Scheduled you.
Yeah. It's the equivalent to Macho Man doing the old man, oh yeah, and I was like, oh, Macho Man, your heart is, it's gonna explode so bad.
I'm a lost cause.
Sorry. Go ahead, Business Bro. We're just bullying you now.
Give us the business.
All right, so I want you guys to guess what the theme of today's amateur stock advice is. Dan, this is an activity that you enjoyed before the quarantine. I'm assuming you did this a lot more during the quarantine, and it's commonly referred to as hitting the sticks.
Playing drums or video games?
Video games,
Yeah.
bingo, baby.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So with the stay-at-home order, we saw a huge increase, in stock prices for the video game industry, which has been pretty awesome. And this is a perfect follow-up to the BDM show on Monday, where you guys discussed the re-release of Tony Hawk Pro Skaters 1 and 2, no longer being a part of Activision.
Yeah, I bought that. I actually, because we talked about that, I pre-ordered it last night, and I have the demo, but I have yet to play it. But I heard it's really good.
It looks awesome. And so I wanted to do a deep dive in Activision, just based on, Dan, you mentioned like a documentary on it and
Yeah.
on how Tony Hawk was, leveraging the deal and all that. So I found out some interesting information which coincides with why their stocks are killing it. So with that, they actually merged with Vivendi Games back in 2008, and it's no longer Activision, it's Activision Blizzard, which operates under three main segments. And combined, those three main segments have seen 35% increases on the stock market, which is Activision. And honestly, I'm not a video game guy. Dan, you're going to have to help me here, but Activision produces Call of Duty, Warzone, and Diablo. Are those hot games?
Oh my God! I mean, yeah. I mean, Call of Duty's like for everybody, and the Diablo guys that I know that play, and I played when it originally came out. And it was just a Blizzard game. I'm imagining before Activision and Blizzard got together. But, man, Diablo, I still have a special place in my heart for Diablo. That's a damn fine game.
Business Bro, let me ask you a question because, it seems so...
Blizzard's Warcraft, just if everybody wants to know how much money they have. Dear God.
It seems so obvious and so easy to make the correlation, So, for instance, when we all got, the COVID shutdown first happened back in March, right? It took everybody by surprise. We're like, oh, wow, this ramped up super fast. And then all, states started shutting down and everything, all happened pretty fast. If you would have just had the forethought, right? And this is how people make millions, by the way. And in retrospect, it's simple. But if you would have thought, okay, what is this going to mean, right? And you would have thought, all right, well, it's logical to conclude that for a while people are going to be staying at home, right? And like I'm saying this when this first happened. And then you're like, all right, everybody's going to be at home. So what's that going to mean? All home services are going to increase. People are going to be fixing up their house. People are going to be buying. And then video games, people are going to be stuck at home. What are they going to do? Everybody loves video games. They're going to be video game crazy. And then you're like, I better invest heavily into video game manufacturers or software engineers stock, all these video game companies. And you could have made a bunch of money.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so simple if you think about it like that. But now it's the edge, that first edge is already gone.
All gone.
And the stock prices increase. So now, it may still go up, but only incrementally now, as opposed to you had that huge margin at the very beginning. But Business Bro, is it as simple as I'm saying?
It is, man, and I think more so people kick themselves than celebrate their successes because of that exact reason. We don't have a crystal ball to know what's going to be the next boom, but the older you get, the more experience you get with life, and the more you see the trends happen based on events like COVID, the more you can plan for the future and what to keep an eye on. But it's tough, man, and like I said, I think people, they hurt themselves more than help themselves when it comes to the stock market. But that's why the guys that are making the lot, they know how to do it. They know what to look out for.
And there's a gamble involved too. I mean, nothing's
Lottery.
guaranteed, but this seems guaranteed because the beginning, you're like, everybody's going to be home. What are they going to be doing? Playing video games, of course. They're not going to not play video games. Video games are not going to become less popular because people are staying at home.
Imagine
it's so easy.
Imagine the artist, or imagine if you were a film director and you had the biggest film of your career that just happened to end, editing and you finished all the little minute details on, let's say, March 1st.
Yeah.
And you knew it was coming out the end of March. I mean, you're like,
Yeah,
I did
yeah.
it.
I'll
You know,
be- yeah.
like I mean,
It's what
I
happened
think
with Tiger King.
some of these are like happy accidents. Yeah, Tiger King exactly.
Yeah.
That's where I was going.
I
is
mean,
that, like
would Tiger King have been such
No.
a phenomenon if COVID?
no, it's good, and
pe-
people would have liked it, but it would have been.
Everybody was forced to
Yeah.
be stuck at home and watch something anyway. So back to the video game stock. How many different companies are public that you could actually invest in?
In the video game sector,
Yeah.
there's a handful, and I don't have an exact number for you, to be honest. But
Fired.
back to the last thing. Imagine investing in Zoom.
We'll talk to you
back in
later, man.
January or February.
That was
Yeah.
the only thing we wanted to know.
Yeah. And
You kind of blew it.
Zoom is the same thing, and although I think that's a little harder correlation to make because we didn't really know about the technology of Zoom and like all these teleconferencing apps and things.
Well, a lot of them had been around for
Of course,
I mean,
yeah.
decades.
Now, that is also logical to understand that, like, all right, everybody's going to be working from home. These things are going to be more popular. Like, try to find what's the emerging one that you think is going to, and then gamble on that. The video game thing is so broad. It's just like invest into all video games. Like, they all will gain in popularity. But, yeah, you're right. The Zoom, I don't know how much their market share went up, but it must have, it was a crazy windfall.
I mean, what's funny is it's almost become like a Kleenex type product in the fact that
Right.
people even call like teleconferencing zooming or let's
Yes.
zoom in and do that. I even do it, and we use Skype.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
because it works flawlessly with the video.
You're right.
We use OBS here because we have to do everything kind of on a budget. But it's weird how I don't even know if they don't even probably know what it's done for them yet. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
bigger, sure. Yeah, it's more popular, sure. Yeah, they're making some money.
Yeah.
But it hasn't. We're not done.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to, a company like Zoom, for sure, is trying to figure out, all right, you have this many now subscribers and users, right? And their main way of making money is their subscribers paying for
Like
the
a
service.
premium
right?
service,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because it's free. Is that
It's,
correct?
It's free for the first 45 minutes, but then if you opt in and pay for it, then you can get the unlimited time and stuff like that. And usually they let you try it, and then at 45 it shuts off.
They're doing that with video games now. When I bought Tropico 6, the new, you're basically Fidel Castro is what you control like a tropical island. I
Okay.
love it because it just makes me feel like I'm in the Bahamas, which is a place I love.
Yeah.
So I'm playing this game, and all of a sudden this little thing popped up, and it's like, hey, you've downloaded the whole game, but we only give you an hour to play. And I'm like, no! And it was genius because I'd already made my island.
Oh, yeah.
I'd already put a
invested.
whole hour in.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
like, I got to buy it now.
Dude,
They got me.
Yeah.
And I had no plans on buying that game.
These are billion-dollar industry,
So
so it's really crazy. Zoom and all those tech companies, obviously huge right now.
Yeah, and back to the video game thing, Dan, you can be a testament to this here. Nintendo had a huge Q1, Q2 with with the release of Animal Crossing Horizons. That burned hot.
Oh,
when it
yeah.
came out, selling over 22 million copies. In addition to the 60 million Nintendo Switches needed to play the damn game. So Nintendo again saw a huge increase, which again should seem so obvious. Like, let's get into it early. We knew Animal Crossing was coming out. The last Animal Crossing game that came out was for the iPhone. 3 years ago, and so they saw huge increases as well. But they trade on the Tokyo and Osaka stock market, so it's not exactly on the U.S. radar. But huge games and a huge popularity here in the U.S.
Let me ask you something, business bro. Can you just easily invest into other stock markets? How does that work?
You mean like other nations?
Yeah. Like, can I
Markets?
invest into the Tokyo stock market online somewhere? I mean, is that even possible?
You can. You have to go through a brokerage, of course, because there's obviously some currency, fluctuations, and you got to switch some things over. But you can do it. There's just a little more that goes into that. But there's guys that play on the Canadian Stock Exchange, Tokyo, Osaka, London, all those. But you can do it. You just got to, get with a stock professional who can set it up for you.
I have a buddy who actually lost like a good amount of funds in Japan, like
Oh,
on the Tokyo Stock Exchange.
Uh-huh.
He lost funds of some young guy.
Don't you laugh at that business, bro.
Funds,
I'm trying to hold
it's
that.
funds of some young guy.
I looked at Daniel.
Remember that poster?
And I knew he was doing it. I could tell by his face.
I was trying to send it to you. I wanted you just to yell funds of some young guy.
As soon as you
can't
started,
say
I was
the
like,
real thing.
oh, he's doing the Jeff Howell. He's like,
I only do it for Jeff, who doesn't listen to the show and doesn't even know we have a show.
What's next, business, bro?
All right, the last one I wanted to touch on is a super popular one. We had a massive branch here in Orlando, and that's EA Sports. They again saw massive in stock prices up to 30% this year with the release of Command and Conquer and Burnout Paradise, which Command and Conquer, that was like a re-release kind of deal. They're kind of playing on the nostalgic of the 90s, early 2000s to really drive prices.
I remember the Burnout series of games.
What is
and
that?
Tiburon's still in town, right? Those are the guys that do like Madden and stuff like that. And
I think so. Yeah.
yeah, I think
EA's
they
over there.
well, they were in Maitland. I think they were before COVID. I thought they were moving downtown, right?
I thought so too. I don't know if that got tabled though, but I know.
Yeah,
they
I
were making
wonder
a
if
move.
it did because of like the Well, anyway, but yeah, they're still in town, and I always like right now they're starting to roll out a lot of games. It's funny, I didn't know that Business Bro was going to talk about this, but this morning I went on the Xbox store even because I couldn't sleep anymore and I was up at like 5.
Yeah.
And I went on there just to see all the different games, and they already have Lamar Jackson on the new Madden. They're rolling out everything that they normally do, but the covers are different. It's like they're all a little like everything's kind of pushed down. Like it's not as exciting. It's kind of reserved.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's odd. It's almost like they don't know if there's going to be a season, so they're not going all in yet.
Huh.
It seems weird. I don't know how to explain it. It's just like the cover, instead of Lamar Jackson like running with the ball or throwing a huge pass or something like that, it's him, and it's like all black and white, and he's kind of just looking up at the sky, and I'm like, that's weird. What's he praying? It's a weird cover.
And Business Bro, if you talk about like the video game industry, to me, there's nothing that tells me that it's slowing down or it's not going to increase.
I think it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, or new generations growing up with all internet aren't going to be obviously inundated and play video games. You know what I'm saying?
The only people I know that were able to play sports during COVID, and this isn't a joke, are gamers. The first thing that like a lot of the sports channels rolled out when we didn't have any sports were these like esport competitions,
Yeah. So would it be advantageous for you to take a tried and true video game company and put a little bit of money in it, or would it be better to find like an emerging video game company and put money in that? Obviously, you could get bigger rewards, but if you just invest in Nintendo or like EA or like any of these companies, it seems like they can only go up, right?
Yeah, video game companies, they're adapting. They're switching to streaming services. I mean, do you ever hear of anyone waiting outside a GameStop for 12 hours to get a game anymore? It's all digital downloads. They're bringing it right to you in the home. You don't have to go anywhere. So that's only going to drive up, the popularity of these new games. And like you said, new emerging services, I think, is going to be the game streaming services, who I'm sure they might even get into the advertising game because of that. I think it's a sure bet to look into it. Again, I'm an amateur. I'm not a professional, so don't hold me to that. But definitely do your homework and take a look, because there's definitely some money to be made in the game sector.
Yeah, of course. I mean, because you're right. If they get into advertising, right, and then you get companies paying to run commercials in your streaming, or like maybe you get games, and you could figure out a way to incorporate commercials in there. Plus, think about how much they cut out just not having to manufacture physical copies of video games anymore.
Just more plastic.
Like, they have this huge, gigantic factories pumping out actual discs with the video game in the cover.
in a case,
and they're
with the paper.
Well, that costs us, $100 million to do. We don't got to do that anymore, and we're still sell the same for the same price. Like, it's insane. Like, you just cut out $100 million or whatever it is in
Yeah.
costs, and you
And
make
now
the
the
same.
new thing is games are more expensive now because every game I was looking at has 3 different tiers.
Yeah, it's not like they
kinda
lowered the
sales.
price.
No,
Yeah.
they've jacked up the price. What they do is the initial buy-in for like new Madden is $49, right?
Yeah.
And then they got
Or-
a $79 version where you get Dan Marino Legends card and
yeah.
a Joe Montana Legends card, or you got the $99 version
Yeah,
that has the Mercedes-Benz Stadium that Atlanta plays in with the dome opens,
Yeah.
and it's got 2 extra uniforms.
Yeah, of course.
Which one do you think I'm going to buy, Tom?
Of course. And
Well,
all-
the one I have money for, the one that Andrea allows me, but I'm going to ask for the $99 one because I want all the toys.
you start adding in-game purchases to everything and all.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's limitless. And plus,
DLC, they throw all that downloadable content on there, then your game goes on for years.
Here's-
Look at Grand Theft Auto.
you're selling nothing. You're selling like you could buy a different uniform. Like that's not. That's
Yeah,
just code.
That's what you sell.
You're selling code,
Yeah.
nothing, and
Selling
pure
words.
profit. Anyway, all right, business bro. You got anything to plug today?
I had one quick story I remembered last night. This is when I was the intern for the Monsters. I was working the Christmas Wish Show, and you guys know that one. I know you do, Tom. And I had this amazing Excel spreadsheet to like keep track of wishes that were granted, wishes that were pending. And dude, I screwed the pooch bad on a massive wish. So bad the higher ups at iHeart were getting pissed off phone calls and emails regarding my monumental failure.
What'd you do? Would you promise some kid some teeth and then not? Oh God, you're like I can cure your son's cancer.
It's all teeth and transmissions, right?
I'm business bro.
Let's just say an automobile was involved, and it did not go well. And so the next morning, I get the higher ups in, the sound booth, and they come screaming in, going, "McGraw, you really screwed up this time. Sit down. I'm going to tell you about one of the best employees we ever had. His name, Drunky the Bear." And
Is it Bradshaw telling you that?
yeah, oh yeah, it was Boss Man.
Oh,
And,
he's lying.
he goes,
I know, Jack. He would never say
Yeah,
that.
he's clowning you. He's
Yeah.
saying you're not as good as a Drunky the Bear.
Yeah, he was clowning you and clowning you. It was a double clown Bradshaw
Oh,
scenario.
man.
I've
Clown
d-
on clown.
Yeah, I know the clown on clown.
So what do you say?
And he goes, he didn't use some fancy spreadsheet to keep track of everything. You know what he used? He made Post-it notes, and he didn't mess up as bad as you.
That's actually
It's,
true. Tom was really
Yeah.
good at Christmas Wish. And he would stay there the entire time. And we would even have to start the show a little bit later because you took it seriously and you wanted to fulfill as many wishes as humanly possible. Unlike you, I didn't care, so I would just leave and go get beer.
Yeah. And you know what we did with one of our best employees? We underpaid him so that he got so disgruntled that he learned our business model, and then he started his own business, and now he's competing against us right down the street, and we don't even know.
They ended it. He goes, "Damn it, McGraw, why can't you be more like Drunky?" and stormed out.
Oh. Sorry, business.
It
bro.
I bet it did.
I might have cut out that last thing I said.
yeah, that would rattled me a little bit.
No, you know what? I'm leaving it.
My
in.
eyeballs
We're
are bouncing.
Just messing around.
Well, great job, business bro. We will decide after your bit if I'm going to make you an intro, and we will have Samantha email you if we need further services.
Awesome. If there's any business out there who want to sponsor Business Bro, reach out to Tom at tomanddan.com. Come on. Come on.
There you go.
I'm not going to get one.
He's not going to read it, even if he gets one.
I'll read it. I'll be like, it's so long.
Who?
Oh, my God.
Business who? Business baby? Great. All right, man. We'll see you soon.
All right, dude.
Bye-bye.
Later.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. That's business bro.
Yeah, it just you look back and hindsight's obviously 2020, but at all these things, like I always kick myself because I'm like, man, it's so obvious of what was going to happen. And
Toilet paper.
Here's my beef with Business Bro segment. When you asked a specific question about whether something was a good idea or not, he basically said, well, I'm no professional. You should do your own research. No, that's why we have you. You tell us what's a good idea.
No, we rattled
to
them.
invest in.
Yeah,
I
rattled
rattled him by saying that some professional called in and called him out. And,
we did.
Which is not true.
Before he even started talking, we already slapped him around too much.
You beat him down.
We rattled.
I can always
it's like
tell
boot
when we
camp.
go a little too far. It's like when we go to do a straight talk or something like that, and I can tell on the line if I say something, and I can even just tell by the feeling. I'm like, oh, they're not gonna bite because I went a little too far.
Also, he's always wanted to be in radio. You could tell by the being an intern and stuff. So
This guy's desperate.
He's trying real
He's
hard.
older.
He's like, I'll come out with a rock out with your stock out. That'll and then
The
it didn't
older-
make us laugh. But then we're so jaded.
The
that-
older guys that try to get into radio are the most pathetic because they're just so desperate for anything, you know, and they just want to be famous so bad.
Yeah, yeah.
And then like
That's why
this guy, legitimately, Sam, he like Business Bro, he will call in until we decide to stop doing the show.
I know.
Yeah.
He'll never stop.
Because now I like the ambition that he has, and I could tell he's a hard worker, he's a go-getter. But sometimes me and Daniel, we see ambition, and we're like,
Well, you need more
you
than
want it too much.
yeah.
It's taking the power.
You
Like-
can't want it too much.
Like Business Baby, some other they're not doing it for anything. We don't even know why they're doing it.
Yeah.
So
I don't
like-
want to know. That might ruin it.
Yeah. So I think that they may have. I think they don't even like it now.
I don't want you to want it too much. In fact,
Yeah. I want you to not like it.
I want you to hate it.
Yeah, it's like Pariah
And-
Mike doing these. Now he hates doing
Yes.
them, and that it makes me like.
Oh
him
man,
more.
we need to talk to Pariah Mike. I might have to have Sam reach out to Pariah Mike because I got a very private email from Pariah Mike's wife,
Whoa.
and she told me she's very upset. She's
what?
very upset.
What?
She listened to the show last week and is convinced that she is a chopper.
Oh,
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
female chopper.
Lisa's very. I've never heard of anything.
rare.
Yeah, very rare. I told her, I was like, you are a unicorn.
I don't know.
She says she's a straight up chopper.
I need some examples.
Why would anybody say that? You don't say that if you're not.
Well, they
one.
do a horror movie podcast. Maybe she meant chopping up bodies.
No.
No?
No.
Yeah, I mean,
Full on, just like Travis.
She heard the definition. I mean, there is female choppers.
I've never seen one.
They
Well, except for my
surprised.
daughter
They
is
like
a
chopping.
little chopper.
yeah. Well, all kids though.
Yeah, kids don't count.
Kids are all
'Cause
choppers.
you will
They can
age out
grow.
of
You can
choppiness.
grow out of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. Oh, you guys made me feel better.
Yeah, no, kids are natural choppers. They're
Oh, man.
curious. They're chopping things. But
Oh,
you're supposed-
Maisie is.
Yeah, but Travis never grew out of it.
Right.
And then some people don't.
Hey, do you remember Chopper from Saturday morning cartoons?
No, Chopper.
Was
What-
the cartoon called Chopper? Or the character
It
from...
was a character that would teach you to brush your teeth.
No.
What is it?
I think that was before my
oh,
time,
this
sir.
is old timey. This is like that.
It's all music.
This is a black and white
It's
toothpaste.
not. Yeah, you guys expect. I put on some like it's Bugs Bunny in blackface, where the bomb blows up, and then he
Make
has,
sure you brush your teeth.
then he has plaits in his hair, and it's
Right.
highly racist. No,
That's the ones that you watch.
you don't remember Exercise Your Choppers?
No.
It was like
Exercise
okay.
your
Oh,
choppers.
wow. This is old.
It was grainy. Hurts my eyes.
You mother!
God, my
I'll
God.
get you both.
It's 8-bit.
I will get you both. All right, here.
This is the Library of Congress.
They're doing push-ups in Peoria.
Oh, it's like Schoolhouse
They're
Rock.
jogging in L.A. They're exercising everything in lots of crazy ways. But take it from the chopper.
Hey, the chopper, yeah, that's me.
If you want to have great choppers,
You gotta exercise your teeth.
That is weird. Exercise your teeth.
He's doing a.
Lots of greasers.
Yeah,
Hard food.
what's that guy's name?
your canines tear.
What's that old?
Exercise your choppers on some good hard food.
Pumpernickel, carrot sticks, crunchy fruit.
That character is what's his name?
It's
the
From
cool-
Grease?
It's Fonzie.
Fonzie.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
or
Fonzie.
it's the Danny from
Danny.
Danny from
Yeah.
Grease.
Grease. Right, check out the ending.
Things you really have to chew will make your choppers tough. So take it from the chopper, cause choppers know it's true. Exercise is great, but exercise your choppers too. Hey, chopper, how about running a few laps with us? Hey, later, man. I'm eating a celery stick. This is hard
Exercise. All right.
Weird. Do not recall that.
Man, you guys must have like
Yeah.
it's
That's
weird.
some old-
Everything,
old-timey-
everything I bring up, everything, bands, songs, everything. You guys are like, I never heard of it.
Well, I
Well,
mean, you know,
you want us to lie?
It's a different generation.
No,
I-
Twitch.
like,
Somebody in Twitch knows.
Yeah,
Chopper.
yeah. I mean, even there's
You're a whole
there's another
decade before me.
couple old men in there that probably seen that. before.
You're not that far off.
I,
Man.
you know,
I think that it
generationally,
was
there's a
how
line.
aloof you are and how you don't see anything. You just didn't bring any of this in. I am not a boomer. Rag Nasty called me a boomer. I'm not that old.
Well, I mean, you know, you're not that old, but I feel like the difference in age between me and you, there's a generation
Yeah, because the
gap.
70s and the 80s,
Yeah,
totally
yeah,
different.
Yeah. Like I'm nearing
God, the chat room
mid-80s
is just shredding me. Everybody's old.
So I'm really a child of the 90s. You're a child of the 80s. So that's the difference. The whole, you know, the 90s are just different than the 80s.
I think I was a child of the 80s and a child of the 90s.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever grew up. So I think that I can remember some of the things that I don't think I'm grown now.
No. Out of the Venn diagram, you remember everything of my childhood.
Yes.
But I don't
I was there when you were
remember
born,
yours.
my dear.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'll never forget. I cut the cord on you.
I don't know this Fonzie cartoon.
His name is
or-
Chopper. Do
or-
you remember a hankering for a hunk of cheese?
No, that's
See,
another
he
one.
was watching this yesterday when you were driving the old Griff truck up to Gillis Automotive, and I had no idea what the hell he was talking about.
It was Grandpa
he's
shows.
been on Grandpa cartoons.
This is like this is the
Grandpa
way
shows
this
his
is the
daughter-
way that I abuse her is I make her watch all my grandpa cartoons.
Look at how old that is.
Oh yeah.
Oh, howdy, partner. Time for timer. Do you ever get that hungry feeling after school? Boy, I do. I'm so hungry, I could eat a wagon wheel. When I'm slow on the draw and I need something to chaw, I hanker for a hunk of cheese. When my
yeah,
10
this is-
gallon
You don't remember that?
This is
What year did this come out?
I don't know.
like
Okay, now I'm getting some people that that remember the hunk of cheese.
people
Hankering for a hunk of cheese.
they were fighting in Vietnam during this.
You are so mean.
I'm just saying. I mean, it was a different time. Like,
I was born in '76.
This commercial's
This
2D.
is it's not a commercial. It's a PSA
All right.
for healthy snacks.
Yeah. This is like this cartoon.
Oh,
is 2D.
you know what?
It's a-
You didn't watch any of this because all you were eating is fruit roll-ups and Sunkist. Of course, you didn't have any
Same.
healthy snacks.
Yeah. No. This
Yeah,
is,
poor white trash kids. We didn't have healthy.
I think his
snacks.
name was Time for Timer. I think that's what this guy was called, the hunk of cheese man.
yeah,
You don't
I'll-
remember any of these from when you were a kid? Do you remember any of the Schoolhouse Rocks?
Yes, but that's because we also were forced to watch them in school.
And was
Yeah.
that because of the album that came out that had like Ben Folds and it had like Blind Melon?
No.
Remember when they remade?
No, but
Blind-
now I'm gonna look into it.
Blind Melon remade 3 is a Magic Number. Bismarcky did
What?
like
Oh my god!
I'm Just a Bill up on
He
Capitol.
did? That's
yeah,
one of my
I think it was
favorites.
Biz. I forget who did it, but it was a
and
great
Conjunction
album.
Junction.
One
What's
of
your
the-
function?
One of the best things about that album, and it ties into what Tom, I almost called you Dan, what Tom was talking about on the, I know this, I'm really cracking up, about the video games, the CD for Schoolhouse Rock, where Blind Melon and all these bands like redid these songs, and covered them, was it was yellow plastic. So it was like really hip looking. You know, it wasn't see-through. It was like bright yellow.
Yeah.
So when you
yeah.
bought it, you thought you were buying something kind of special. You know, like when REM came out with What's the Frequency, Kenneth? I remember that album came in an orange plastic, and I was like, man, that's like way.
Cool.
They must have spent extra money on that. It's way cool, you know.
I only remember the More You Know PSAs, like the ding ding ding, the star, and it was always
Right.
like some NFL player that got a DUI and
Yeah.
they forced them to do some
There's
PSAs.
that,
I
and
was like,
then there's this
"Don't
is your
bring
brain
your-
on drugs.
Don't bring your gun in your limo. You might shoot your thigh. Uh-oh.
yeah.
Gun safety.
Yeah. It was
Plaxico Burris.
yeah. Or it was like what's Iron Man?
Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr.
Don't fall
like-
asleep in somebody's house.
yeah.
I'm Robert Downey Jr.
He's doing like stay off drugs, and you're like, oh, Robert, we know why you're doing. You're not doing this because you wanted to.
You're on drugs right now in the commercial.
This is court mandated.
And then the G.I. Joe ones were great.
yeah.
But then they got even better when right before internet memes and internet videos became big, those G.I. Joes that were like overdubbed by some guy.
Oh, yeah, that was the original guy that got like the voice or the what is it called, lip sync guy, right?
Yeah, it was like just so good.
Yeah.
You know, he took all the More You Know, or what are they, One to Grow On.
Well, yeah.
It was
And
one that-
knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe. He took all of those and redid them, and they were so good. Tom and I used to watch endless. I mean, we'd watch just on repeat all day
Yeah.
instead of doing our job.
I think we had to take a break. Oh my God! Oh,
Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha, our producer's here. Butler just got back with a brand new phone because our studio phone is dead. Struck by lightning. Let's do some emails, Samantha.
Good Lord, there's a lot of long emails.
Yeah, people have been sending a lot of photos too, but they never send any boobies
oh yeah.
or
You
any
used to
D's.
get that, right?
No, we've never really been that show. Normally I get dogs. I get pets.
Yeah.
A lot of dogs.
This says, Pidge on the CT with a few words for Dan about his dream of getting that tent for his car.
Ooh, my rooftop tent. Yes.
What's up, Tom and Dan? It's Pidge again. Who's Pidge?
I don't know.
It's not Pudge. On another dumbass through hike. This time I'm on the Colorado Trail. Last time I chimed in was in 2018 when I was hiking the Appalachian Trail and I was talking about the sweet, sweet poo we all love dumping around.
I remember that.
Seeing how the restaurant industry around me has crumbled into shambles, I decided to take advantage of this time and social distance in a different way. I've been living on the CT for almost 2 months and have been taking my time with it. Started in Denver on July 6th, and now I'm almost to Durango, mile 480. I'm 440 miles in, and it's been super cool experience. I think this Florida boy is going to make his way out west after trail and take advantage of a few opportunities that have fallen into my lap. On another note, I was listening to Dan talk about getting a tent for his car, and I say you should. I don't remember what you drive, but if you got that all-wheel drive 4x4 swag on your whip, you should do it. The adventures you could have with the fam are more than you can think of. One of the fun parts about it is making your own routes and going to places no one has ever really gone. I have a homegirl who has a Tacoma set up like that, and all the places she shows me look like an episode straight out of Nat Geo Discovery Channel. I definitely think you should really look into it. It can be a money pit, but the memories would be all worth it. Starting out by going to national parks is a great way to introduce you to the hobby. Eventually, if you really get the bug, you'll want to do suspension and whatnot to get crazier places over time. I think Dan would really enjoy the aspect of doing research and building a super cool route to take his friends and fam out for a unique experience. And he sent us some photos of his adventures on the trails.
Wow. So he is just walking by himself down the Colorado Trail. What is the Colorado Trail?
I don't know. I know what the Orange Blossom Trail
Yeah, I've watched
is,
that one.
Like
and the Katy Way Trail.
Like the Appalachian Trail, like obviously through the Appalachian Mountains, it goes all the way up to like northeast. But I'm familiar with that. The Colorado Trail, maybe it goes through like Utah.
It's a long-distance trail running 486 miles from the mouth of Waterton Canyon southwest of Denver to Durango in Colorado.
Okay, so it's
And
all
it's 13,000 feet above sea level.
I do not have four-wheel drive. Well, I mean, I have all-wheel drive, but I don't have it. It's not an off-road vehicle.
Yeah. Well, you
But I don't.
live in
I'm not
Florida, you
looking
don't,
to do any. I'm not crossing canyons or doing any rock climbing or going in any weird areas. I really just want to go to areas that are meant for camping and check out the wilderness and the cool nature areas. You know.
I wonder. So this guy, he's just walking by himself, and
Sounds amazing.
Not for me.
I wonder if, like.
Well, if the danger factor wasn't there, right? Or if you
Right.
weren't like, I mean, I just.
Yeah,
to
I like
me,
hiking.
Do you get
Yeah,
bored? Do you?
I don't.
Do you want other?
You just listen to
activities?
podcasts, right? Or
Yeah, but
music?
does that get old? Like
Not for me. I got like
5
50
days?
different genres to listen to.
I'm truly
Switch it
becoming
up.
an old man because I just like listening to the outside.
And
And that's what old men like. I like to just go outside and just listen.
it's got to be
to
so
nothing.
much better
Oh,
for you.
you are not helping your boomer case.
I know,
Yeah.
man. I know. I'm just saying. It's peaceful.
Well, think about our lives, how we live them now. It's just like, I don't know about you guys, but every basically moment of the day is planned out every day. It's like, you have the same routine. And for me, it's the kids and then the work. And then you get
Especially
home.
like the work week, yeah.
And then, and so you have all these things and then you're always behind and you got all these things you need to do and the house projects and these projects and the work projects and all that. And then if you just take all that away and just made it as simple as like, hey, I'm going to walk from here to there. It's going to take me 1 month or whatever. And here's my, I planned out my food. I stop at these places to
Yep,
read
here's
my
my
supplies.
path.
And then I just do that. is how quickly can you adapt to that life, and how much better is it for you? Will it drive?
Oh, it's got to be better for you.
will it drive a person that's super ambitious crazy? Like
Well, they would never do it anyway. You know what I mean? Like I don't think somebody.
Like if you're a workaholic or something.
Yeah, like we used to know a guy. We used to work with a guy, and I can say his name now, but because we've talked about him before. But Brett Lashbrook, that we used to work with, he was really, really high up in Major League Soccer, and then he eventually helped us start Orlando City here. And now he and his family own the team out in Las Vegas, the Las Vegas Lights. And I can't see a guy like that who is one of the most ambitious people I've ever worked with.
Yeah.
I could never see him just dropping everything. Maybe due to trauma. I've seen it with friends of mine
you get burnout.
that, like, let's say they're
go
like
through.
stock guys or mortgage guys, and they go through kind of a really bad run, and then they're just like, this is not for me anymore. And then they go a 180. I've seen that.
Yeah, I've seen it too. And it's always they're way happier for it, which tells me that this is good universally for anybody who does it, right? Because I've never heard of anybody who does these things and they're like, it wasn't good. like
You're right.
They always are like, it taught me this about myself. I learned this. I had
Like
appreciation.
Jana, our friend Jana Banana. You know, when she went on African safari,
Yeah.
you know, it was one of those things where you would think completely challenging, you know, but when, you know, she says it's life-changing.
Yeah. And all these people that do adventures and like go out and do something like this for like a large amount of time, more than because we all get their 2 weeks vacation and then we'll go to some resort and we'll sit at the resort and we'll like get drunk and we do the thing and we spend the money and stuff like. But it's not this, you know what I'm saying?
No.
Because it's like that is whatever the typical, I guess, vacation and like you're.
It has its place. I'm looking for
does,
something
yeah.
that's a little bit more active and a little bit more in the moment. Like I want to be present
Yes, yeah.
when I'm there. Like I want to be kind of soaking it in. You know what I mean? Oh, thank you, whoever cheered us.
Oh, we got 300 ghost diamonds.
Wow, I love the ghost diamonds.
Also, if there's a little bit of a pain in the ass involved and a little bit of a maybe.
Oh my God! It's the ghost! The ghost diamonds just pulled the curtain down.
That's the craziest S I've ever seen.
That just scared the absolute crap
And
out of
there's
me.
a
It's
lady
coming
with
too.
big fake tees outside who we all looked at her, and the curtain came flying down, and she's standing there like a bikini top, and Tom and I are just staring at her.
When that curtain fell, I for a split second I was like, "It's killing us! These nerds are killing us!"
Uh-oh.
I thought it was happening.
You want some real talk? I almost pushed Samantha in front of the window.
What? Why did it fall?
Why did that fall?
I don't know.
Oh, the one side
Oh,
of
we
the.
just
Oh
got
my-
cheered 1,000 diamonds for a new curtain.
I think our studio's falling apart. And people are like, help us pay for this. It's all garbage. But that thing did scare me.
My heart stopped.
I'm having a mini heart attack. That scared the S out. Oh, God, it fell again.
Oh, God. Oh, we got to go.
Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer's here. Hey, Sam.
Hey.
Butler is in the other room. You know, Butler did something today that I bet you he won't do again until, well, he will not do this. What he did today, he will never do it again.
Okay.
He will die before he does it again.
All right. I'm trying to think of what this is.
I'm setting you
a
guys
good
up
job?
for beach balls of joy. I mean, like, literally, I'm gifting you guys
yeah.
something to play with right now.
Yeah. What was
I mean,
it?
you could throw them all around. I mean,
Yeah. Did he remember his wallet and keys when he left the office?
nope, that's not it.
He needs a wallet
He
chain.
bought a phone.
Right?
He bought a corded phone for our studio because the one that we have is the power supply is having some issues. But I just found it interesting that he bought one, and I was like sitting there thinking about it. I'm like, he'll never do it again.
Yeah, but what reason would he ever buy a phone again?
Right.
Maybe in 10 years when this
Maybe
thing
his
goes-
wife's business?
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Do they got phones over there?
Well, he's the receptionist.
Yeah,
He should
right,
know.
yeah.
He
I
moonlight.
called one time because he's been wanting me to get his wife is an amazing doctor.
Yeah.
And just really well qualified, great bedside manner, just a sweet individual. Why she's with
Oh yeah,
This
Butler,
chopper of a man, I have no idea.
a boy
Well,
toy
he's
scenario.
beautiful. I'll
It's
tell you
gotta
that.
be,
He's a,
right?
yeah, he's a great looking guy, but
Yeah.
inside
it's
of him
like
is
why rich guys get like the typical dumb blonde young wife.
Yeah, trophy.
You know? Yeah, trophy wife.
She
yeah.
got a dumb Brit.
Trophy
Yeah, yeah,
Travis.
yeah.
And
Trophy Travis.
and so I
You
called
didn't-
over there
not
one
young
time to make an appointment. And then Butler asked me, he's like, why haven't you made an appointment? Why haven't you made an appointment? The reason is
different
I
when you-
called there one time, and I swear to God it was Butler. And he's like, hello?
No.
Yes.
Didn't he be,
Yes, it was him.
Does his
And,
wife
and
like?
I freaked out. I hung up, and I haven't had the gumption to call back.
It's because he was here doing both jobs.
He forwarded all the calls.
He's
I
like,
almost spit out my drink.
he's like, I can do your job and this easy ass podcast BS job. and then he's his
Oh, I
wife's
love it.
receptionist.
Hey, guess who's on the line with us?
Oh, yeah.
It's your pet business baby. I made an intro for him. Let's do it.
I don't know why I'm on the show. They call me Business Baby. B-U-S-I-N-E-S-S-B-A-B-Y. A little business baby.
Let's change you now, okay?
That's
It's,
creepy.
creepy.
At the end.
Ah, the end's
It's
creepy
weird,
because the
huh?
lady's like, let's change you now.
Yeah. I was like, that's I didn't need that.
Yeah. And I stole that from somebody's personal YouTube account.
Oh my God.
How creepy is that?
Yeah. How you doing, business baby?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Oh, well,
Always coming in just flaming.
Yeah.
With amazing amount of energy, business baby ascends on the show.
So you struck a chord with our audience, with us, really. After you did your first call, we were like, you know what? We love business
Yeah,
baby.
This guy's got the goods.
Yeah, he's got everything.
Certainly whipping the water a little more than Business Bro is.
No, yeah, business bro is struggling.
Yeah, he
so
really,
hard.
and they're turning on him.
they are
And
turning
I don't
on
know
him.
why that happens. I don't fully understand
Yeah,
it.
it's
but
something.
like you and I were having a conversation. Me and you and Sam and Butler were all having a conversation this morning about levels of engagement. We're having like a kind of a business meeting to plan out what we want to do for the next year, and it's kind of hard because events have are
yeah.
canceled. But one of the things that did come up in the meeting is that the listeners, the constituency, are turning on Business Bro, but they love the Business Baby.
Yeah. And there's something that some people have. It's the it factor. It's some undescribable personality trait
Right.
that no one can put their thumb on. But you got a business baby.
Yeah.
You're overloaded with business baby charisma.
Thank you. I got the good. Got the good.
It always sounds like you're having a bowel movement when you call it. Almost like you're wearing a diaper like a baby, and you're like grunting one out.
And there's another aspect of this business baby that me and Daniel personally like is the aspect of like you're probably conflicted whether to tell like your friends and family that you
Right.
even do this because
Yeah.
it's turned into something you didn't want or foresee, which is us calling you business baby, which is got to be weird to your family and friends.
Well, it's
so
weird.
you're like it's
weird
embarrassing.
to anybody. Like this
So you
whole
don't-
show is weird.
You're ashamed of it.
This whole show is weird. And how do you explain to your nana that you're neither a baby nor do you know anything about business, but you call into a show and play the part of business baby, and then you play her the intro, and it's got some lady saying she wants to change her diaper,
Yeah.
and your nana's like, "What?
I don't understand it.
They're like, why? You're not a baby. Why do they call you that? You're like, I don't know.
Why, is that like a nickname like Sleepy Joe? I'm not voting for him. I am not voting for him.
Pepperoni pizza, Pizzagate, QAnon, he knows."
All right,
I don't tell my nana that I do this show.
all right, that's good.
Yeah.
Never tell your nana.
But can we talk to your nana? Can we talk to business nana?
Ooh.
We'll see.
oh,
Hey, he's got us on the hook for business,
Hey,
Nana.
don't dangle that in front of me, business baby.
if for sure she'd be confused, be like, "What is going on?"
Oh, yeah.
All right, business baby, what do you got today?
You don't understand yet that this entire show is really just selfish for you and I to do weird things.
yeah.
And the money just falling from the heavens.
It makes no sense.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Sometimes I
Nobody-
feel like I'm in a dream.
Yeah. Business baby, you shouldn't do this. It's a waste of your goddamn time.
It really is.
It's like I don't.
It's fun.
It's fun.
Is it
Okay.
fun? What's fun about it? Oh, like we spent the first 5 minutes we're making fun of, we're clowning you. It was like, I don't know what is fun.
Maybe
What's
that's
in
his
it for
cue.
you?
Okay.
You like that?
I'll let Business Baby start, but I'm going to tell you something right now. This has been the week of coincidences, and the biggest one is going to be on Friday. I can't reveal
Oh,
it
right,
yet,
right,
but
right.
What is that?
I'm not going to tell you yet.
Don't
But
spoil
another
it.
one happened this morning. I told you I was shopping on the old Xbox, looking at new games. And Business Baby, I promise we'll get to you. Guess what? They have a brand new video game. It dropped this morning. I saw it. It's called Tell Me Why.
No, you said
And I was like,
Yeah.
are you kidding me?
What is it?
Don't know. I didn't have time to download it. I'm
Oh.
going to have to try and download the trailer, see what it is.
That's funny.
All right, Business Baby, what do you got?
I got some categories this time, so we can to start. We can talk about the tech war. We can talk about McDonald's. We can talk about Instagram, or we can talk about guns.
Let's go guns, because I know my audience.
So, gun sellers are using Facebook Marketplace to sell guns illegally, and they have a new tactic where they're using stickers. So they're marketing like they're selling stickers, but it's really they're selling a gun. And the example I have is, this is the description on Facebook Marketplace. They're selling a .40 sticker for $450. And go ahead.
So this is basically
This is
the
the most awkward.
I'll give you a dozen roses for you to
Yeah.
come
For
and
some,
massage.
some
or-
mouth fun.
Yeah. Like this has been going on, the code words since Craigslist.
Now, is this because it's illegal guns? Like
Yeah.
they're stolen guns? Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I don't think you can
it's
sell
not.
guns.
They're
I've
not
seen guns sold
stolen.
at garage sales.
Well,
not
yeah,
on
that's
Facebook
allowed, but
Marketplace.
Facebook has
Ah,
certain
gotcha,
items
gotcha.
you can't sell. I don't think you can sell like pornography or
Gotcha.
adult-styled items. I don't think you can sell like personal
Weapons,
massagers or
maybe.
weapons. Yeah, drugs certainly.
To sell between state lines, you have to be a registered dealer, and these guys, most of them aren't. And they're interested now because of the there's a gun boom because of all the stuff going on, the coronavirus and some of the social injustice, and there's a huge demand for guns right now.
Oh yeah. Scared white people will buy some guns. They'll buy guns
And
crazy.
then they stand out front of their house in a pink, real tight polo shirt, and they waggle that gun crazy at you.
yeah.
With zero trigger control. It can go off at any moment and blow your shoes off.
Yeah. And man, speaking of getting into a market early, if you got into guns too, like that, that would have been a financial windfall.
That'd be a good one.
Because not only did COVID cause, like, as soon as
There's a lot of little things.
toilet paper shortage, or like, and there was never really a meat shortage. Like they projected maybe meat costs.
I don't know. My husband's aunt sent me a chain mail Facebook message saying that there was a dairy and meat shortage.
Yeah. I mean,
There is not.
There was, I guess they projected it to be because of whatever. It didn't seem like
I think
it,
they thought everyone was stocking up on meat like they were toilet paper.
Yeah, the toilet paper thing was real.
It's
that was
weird
hard
too
to-
because I wipe my butt with meat and I eat toilet paper. So it's a
but-
different way of living.
So they're finding a way. Now this is just personal people trying to sell their guns, correct, Business Baby?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. And then so now, how does Facebook Marketplace
combat that?
Yeah, because you could. I mean, if you so if they start making some computer algorithm that scrapes that can see if anybody's selling like some sort of weird .01 stickers, and then for a high price they'll flag it or something. But then you could always just change it to plants or like any other thing, right? Like you could always hide it from Facebook in one way or the other with codes.
I mean, if
or
it's like
code words.
it's almost like at that point like a private crime, right? You know,
Well,
if like I'm using,
it's not even a crime because it's just Facebook's policy. It's not illegal.
Right.
I guess interstate selling maybe.
I think it is. I don't think you're allowed to do that.
I think there's always if there's a will, there's a way. But this will deter, people who want to commit heinous crimes, make it more difficult, put roadblocks in front of them, to prevent, a mass shooting or something like that. Somebody who has, a background that they can't get a gun permit in the state of Florida or wherever. It's just a roadblock to prevent them from, obtaining a gun. I don't think you can completely stop it. There's no 100% way to do that.
Yeah, and man, I gotta tell you, guns seem pretty easy to get. You could probably just go on your own Facebook, even if you didn't have that many followers.
We have 12 or 16 guns in the studio, and we don't even use them. They're just kind of laying around willy-nilly.
It just
very unsafe.
It seems like you could be like, hey, I want to buy a gun. Anybody got a gun for sale? Like, I feel like you could probably get someone to sell you your gun pretty easily, right?
I saw an embarrassing amount of people say that on Facebook when everything was, ramping up a couple of months ago.
People wanted to buy guns, and then they didn't know, they wanted to get one quick. And now, because obviously there's some sort of sometimes there's waiting periods and stuff. But I think
you just missed the bikini girl that lives behind us riding a razor scooter down there.
Was she in a bikini?
Oh yeah, always in a bikini.
All right, business baby. What's the next topic?
Okay, we got we could do Instagram, McDonald's, or the tech war.
Let's go McDonald's.
All right.
Yeah.
McDonald's. So the CEO resigned earlier this year, and he was alleged to have some relationships in the office.
Yeah.
And so what is strange about it is McDonald's is trying to claw back their money. They're a multi-billion-dollar company, and they're trying to claw back their, estimated $42 million they paid the former CEO. And, make it kind of in the press. And it's kind of unheard of for a multi-billion-dollar company.
So they're trying to take back some of the money they pay this guy?
Yep. Yeah, they had a settlement, and apparently McDonald's is alleging that he lied in the settlement, that the relationships in the office, were different than, and he has a few allegers that it was inappropriate relationships, like sexual harassment. So they're making a stance, and they're clawing back.
It's almost like men have always done this, and
Is there a
it's just
CEO?
now coming to light.
Is there a CEO that doesn't have any of these cases against them at this point?
Oh, don't look at me and
My
Tom.
God.
We do it crazy. I was just in the office spanking Travis's butt.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's great. Have you seen him? He's got quite the peak.
Yeah. You should see my plant next to my desk.
Oh, it's disgusting.
Like the roof of
Yeah,
Alcatraz.
I was like, who flocked this?
So
Shout out to 2C's Trees.
they're trying to
Oh my God!
what?
The last time we were at 2C's Trees, we went there. You guys got free wreaths. Then the pandemic happened the next day, and now it's Christmas again. What the hell happened?
No, there was some time. We had 2
I
months.
don't remember
We had a
anything.
couple months.
I don't remember anything.
So you think it's interesting because I could see McDonald's his salary was that 1 year he's getting paid $42 million a year. God damn.
Yes.
Yes,
and stock options. Yes.
I could see them saying and making it public because that also is good for McDonald's being like, we don't
tolerate this. But if you lied and it was in your contract that certain things that would be offered to you, it was in mine. Like when I had a contract.
You have to uphold the morals of that company.
Yeah.
And then if not, you're breach of contract. So then they could say, you did not fulfill your obligation.
Why do you think I worked out my deal?
And then therefore you have to pay the money we paid you back or we'll sue you for it.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about that kind of money, it's and then the point of going after a guy that maybe less than desirable is
and
good
if he
for
lied,
McDonald's.
to be quite honest with you, I think he was just trying to cheat them, right? I mean, if he did lie, he was trying to cover his own ass and cheat them. And
I know that people don't think about this far ahead, but how could you be so stupid to believe that as the CEO of McDonald's, at that point, when you're a CEO of a company that famous, you're famous, right? Just because you're the CEO of that company.
You're the CEO of one of the biggest companies in the world.
Yeah, you're a CEO of a $1 billion company. There's not that many of those, so you're an elite group. So just being that makes you well known, right? So you're essentially a business celebrity.
It's about as high as you can get in business, right? CEO of a $1 billion company.
And then you start effing around with the
That's the problem.
the
It's not.
staff.
That's not when he started. You see what I'm saying? He's probably been this kind of guy his whole life.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
gotten
yeah.
away with it his whole life.
I
so
do think it gets worse though with
when you
power,
have money
though.
and power,
Yeah. Sure,
do
true.
you think you can get away with anything?
I do think it gets abusive.
Man, why do you think you could get away with it? Don't you be like, man?
He probably had for 20, 30
You're right,
years.
Yeah. It just. I would think to myself, like, one of these people are going to say something like, this is going to come back and bite me in the
I
ass.
keep waiting for you guys to call me out for the stuff I get away with, and nobody's doing it, so I'm just going to keep doing it.
All right, business baby, let's go Instagram.
Instagram. Okay, they just signed a deal with a recent IPO called BigCommerce. So they're changing their platform to be an all-in-one system. So I think the inspiration, this is just my opinion, it came from WeChat, which has made the news recently because Trump has banned it in the United States. So in China, WeChat is like an all-in-one app. So if you go to Starbucks in China, you use WeChat. It's how you communicate. It's how you purchase stuff. So Instagram is building this into their app. So you don't have to go to other websites to. If I wanted to buy a set of golf clubs at a Dick's Sporting Goods, I can buy that in the app. Think of it as, have you ever used Uncrate, where you can make purchases in the app, and then it has the functionality of Apple Pay. It's an all-in-one platform, and the pandemic's really changed how we use technology, and we purchase stuff online.
Mr. Robot's coming to life.
Well, I did that.
eCoin.
What he's talking about with Uncrate. I mean, this was active even a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I had a little tiny knife that I bought off of Uncrate with Apple Pay. So I was in the app looking at the products. The product was shown to me.
And
I
you buy
clicked
it,
it.
yeah.
It said, "Do you want to use Apple Pay?" You hit the side bumper. It already has my address and everything.
Yeah.
It's a one-click thing,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
it just shows up in my
Oh,
house.
man.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's just like it's Amazon. Basically, I'm imagining Instagram's like, all right, we know how many users we have
Yeah.
and how many active users. Why don't we?
And they sell things on there like crazy.
Yeah. Why don't we just make it so? Because it's all just a software program, right? These softwares communicate, like the software
and they just
communicates.
communicate with each other.
Yeah, with some these golf products, and it's on Instagram's platform, and then it just you sell it through there, but it gets shipped out through the. It's it makes sense because if you're already on Instagram, you don't want to go to Amazon if you could just buy it on Instagram. So you just go there, you think of it, you buy it.
Yeah, you'll just see things combine and add features on.
Interesting.
It's like the next step of the evolution. Like the credit card was. You don't even have to think about it. Do I have enough money in my bank account? It doesn't matter. I have my credit card. Just swipe it. This is the next evolution of that, I believe, where you can just make an instant purchase.
This is dangerous because I do find myself buying a lot of
And your kids will be
garbage.
scrolling on your phone.
Oh, well, you'd have to lock it from them because they'll be one-click buy. Because I buy stuff on Amazon all the time, one-click buy.
Yeah.
And because it's so easy.
We had to turn that off because Maisie and man, we got lucky because she bought something we could use.
What you get?
You're gonna think I'm crazy, but she likes to listen to ocean sounds at night when she sleeps, just like Daddy and Mommy do. And there's an upgraded version of ocean sounds, which is like an 8-hour track instead of just the 1-hour track that loops.
Okay.
And it's like a high quality WAV file instead of like an MP3.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently Alexa had, she must have, because she does it all by herself. She does everything by herself. She's like, Alexa, play ocean sounds. And they'll start, and then she'll go. And then I think it was like, please note that there is an added version of this, thing for $1.99. And she was like, yes. And she bought it.
Of course.
And now she uses it every day.
God, Maisie's so independent.
She is.
I was putting on my son's pants today, this morning.
What?
While they watch TV and like zombies.
No.
I'm like, put on your pants. The teacher's getting here in 5 minutes.
This morning, Maisie asked her mom if she could walk to school by herself, and Andrea had to explain to her that she cannot.
Oh,
man.
She's only 5.
Oh, there she goes. She's driving. She's driving to work.
Oh my God, she's in Sam's truck! Get out of that!
That's a
Get
death
out
trap.
of the truck!
All
You
right.
gave her your truck?
Business baby, what's the tech
I'd never
war?
do that to her.
Tell us about tech war.
Okay. Yeah, the tech war. So, United States and China have been, kind of been playing a game for a while. It was with, the trade deficit and tariffs, and we're fighting in the South Pacific over islands, and now it's over apps. So the concern is, Trump signed an executive order to remove the use of a few apps, I believe TikTok and WeChat in the United States, effective in a certain amount of days. So United States businesses are reaching out to the president and, to the press saying, hey, this can really hurt us. Related to the last story, so WeChat is the app that is used in China for everything. They
told
use
us
it
this
for
business, baby.
No, yes. So it's how United States businesses communicate with, the workers and, their staff in China. So it will be more difficult. And when they talk about the GDP deficit, a lot of United States companies own the businesses in China that contributes to that trade deficit. So this could hurt United States owned companies in China.
Well, it seems like we are behind the eight ball when it comes to figuring out how globalization works, or at least we're in the midst of figuring it out. Because what the problem is we have all these American companies. They all have manufacturing facilities in China. I mean, talking Elon Musk and so he's everybody, because it's the only way to do it to stay competitive. And now
slave labor.
Yeah. I mean, essentially it's like, okay, we have to do it here.
Labor for sure.
And then now we also have these apps that are very valuable that in countries like China, they limit their citizens' access to certain outside apps and force them to only use their government-made or Chinese apps and stuff. So, they're looking at a different internet than us, but that's because China's China. And in the United States, we've always been open. And we're like, but I'm sure higher ups and people smarter than I am are realizing they're gonna have the monopoly over apps, and we're gonna have all these Americans using this other country's made app, and that's a lot of now power and information that they have with our citizens.
What do they say when you control the message, right?
Yeah, because
and how people get the message is. Second place, I would imagine?
Think about it. All our countries are old as balls, so nobody thought of all this current technology when we established our countries and our rules and all these trade things. And so now with the digital world and the internet, everybody's trying to figure out, wait a minute, how does this work now? China owns an app that we have 100 million Americans using, and they have 100 million Americans information, and they have access to 100 million Americans. Is this safe? Is this good?
Is this a good thing?
Yeah.
Which is why, because he was trying to broker a Microsoft deal, right? Wasn't that what it was?
Now, it could be completely innocent, and it could just be, capitalism, but as a country, you have to protect yourself. You can't be the country that let this all happen, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh,
oh, you could.
Yeah, it'd be bad.
Are you familiar with COVID-19?
Oh, yeah.
I know.
I've heard a thing or two about it.
But I think that everybody's trying to make sure that we don't get too deep into this open market, and then there's no going back. Which is almost like in TikTok world, you could ban it, but there's so many people have it that it's valuable now within the United States.
It's certainly got value.
Anyway, all right, business.
Well, good
baby.
job, man.
Good
You brought up
today.
some cool, compelling stuff today.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Any sponsor that you got, business baby?
Anything to plug? You want to give Nana a shout out?
I do love Nana. I want to, my father-in-law has a business. It's called Titan Laser Screed, and a really cool business, and the construction guys will know what it's about.
All right. It's called...
Is it the coolest business? Because one time Tom and I had to do a live read where they said, you'll know what I'm talking about. And they came to us and they're like, look, we're the coolest store in Orlando. You have to say the coolest store in the world.
Oh, I think I know what that is.
And I'm like, God damn, really? The coolest?
The owner said to us, they're like, we want you in your next commercial read to say that we are the coolest store in Orlando. And we're like, we cannot say that. Because you sell yarn. We cannot say that. Our audience will clown us. Never
It
clown
was
us.
hard to tell somebody we'd have to believe that in order to say that.
And in fact,
You know what I mean?
I think we actually told them we were going to say it, just didn't say it.
we're
That's
just like,
I'm
they left it on the copy.
Pepper.
I don't remember how we handled it.
It's like, but you were not the coolest store in Orlando by far. But even saying it, people would laugh at us. They'll laugh at you.
Yeah, they think we're saying it ironically.
They'll laugh at everybody.
Hey, it's Tom and Dad,
Yeah.
the two coolest guys in Orlando, to talk about the coolest store in Orlando.
Yeah, they'll think that we're clowning on you, because it's so bizarre.
Right.
Anyway, what is it called? Laser squeeze?
He's gonna be so mad. It's called Titan Laser Screed. It's he recently did a job for a local gym. It's where they lay the concrete, and his portion is the last part, that the top layer, to make sure that it's 100% level, and they use a laser across a large area to make sure it's precise.
Nah. Hey, listen, there's
Wow.
always industry.
Huge market for that.
You want some precise ass concrete?
We got the best prices in lasered concrete.
I see. It's probably like, I don't know.
I have no idea what it does.
There it goes. Brought to you by Titan Laser Screen. You're gonna have to pay me for that.
Yes, Screed. SCREED.
Screed.
Oh,
Screed.
Screed. Titan Laser Screen.
The hell?
I'm Titan Laser Screed the Third, and I now own T&D Media.
He will get not one business from that. I guarantee it. I know you're going to tell him to listen. Maybe not at this point, because we've already ruined it.
Don't play this for him. He'll be mad. He'll punch his laser good.
Yeah, he'll be like, God, my cheating gay
You left
nephew.
these two Antifa libtards talk about my goddamn screen. All right, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Sorry, business baby.
He would say that. I was trying to do a real, like, what would this construction work man really say? And that's what he would say.
Did you hear how defeated he was? Like, oh, he's gonna be so mad.
yeah, because that's what you do. He broke character.
Oh yeah, because you know why? Because he was like,
God, when he talks, I love the guy. Don't get me wrong, I love
do
that
too.
man. But man, it's heavy lifting. Every word he says is like me lifting 500 bricks. It hurts so bad. I feel like I just did.
Spit it out, baby.
Rode the
yeah,
Peloton.
Yeah. And,
God damn it! Pedal to your tonsils faster.
But I like as like he was probably he was at a family get together or just a small because of COVID, and then his uncles are like, "Hey, I heard you do a segment on the."
It's on Real Radio, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't listen anymore. A little too liberal for me. I used to like it back in the birthdays.
And they got drunky and
Danny,
little Danny.
the little one standing in a hole. He's on there. Hey, shut up my screed one time. Shut up my laser screed.
Yeah, they let you. They said, and he's like, "All right." He's like, "So just a mention Titan Laser Screed, and I'll give you, maybe a
but
kickback."
whatever you do, and hey, and old, Uncle Randy's a good man, but don't mock my screed. If you mock my screed, I'll
If they start making fun of my screed,
I'm coming down there, and it just ain't gonna be good. It ain't gonna be good.
Remember, get it out right so people remember.
Yeah, get out them screed. I don't even know what that is. I've never heard screed.
Yeah. I think it's the thing.
It's like a Jeff Foxworthy joke. It's like
Is that the thing in concrete? I'll text Concrete Mike in the break, but
A level with a straight edge using a back and forth motion while moving across a surface.
yeah, it's that big long thing that people use to scrape the top
that's a
of
trowel.
Oh, that is a trowel, right? But no, but I think there's one that's like a big long.
A flat board or a purpose-made aluminum tool used to smooth and true materials like concrete, stucco, and plaster.
Well, Mike
it's not
told
a trowel.
us
It's a thing
he uses a board. He told us that. I read it in the Facebook
that's a
post.
screed.
He's like, I've been
Yeah.
using the board for 31 years. I don't need no goddamn screed.
Well, yeah, he's old school.
If you need to use a screed, You're screened.
He's
Scrape
anti-screen.
screen.
Yeah.
Oh, he's really mad about the laser screen.
Oh, laser screen! You probably got that from the bailout, didn't you? Lasers don't grow on trees.
I'm sorry.
Goodbye.
Welcome back to a Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Let's jump into some of your feedback, some of your voicemails. Leave us one. Get our free app, totally free. It doesn't cost you a dime. All of our content's on there. If you want more content, and I know some of you do, because I get emails from guys that'll be like, I burned through everything. I need some more stuff. And I'm like, whoa. We're tired, and we record a lot. But if you do require more content, you can sign up to be a BDM member. You can do all of that on our free app. All ACTs, everything is on there. Let's.
Oh, you just reminded me. We should get that thumb drive for that guy in the military.
Already did it.
Oh, you did it?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Sam put
Yeah,
it
we
on my
just did that
desk,
today.
and we
Oh,
did
wow.
it yesterday.
Oh,
Yep.
awesome. Thank you.
Dude, I'm telling you, as
you
far
got it.
as knocking out like stuff we should do,
would've forgot.
I put 115 BDM shows.
Oh, wow.
Oh, we'll plug it. If you are in the military, you do not have to be a BDM member, right?
Yeah, and really, if you don't have access
Yeah.
to Wi-Fi,
And
it's
this
really
guy,
like, it's
this
the
is our
guys-
guy.
yeah.
He's stranded.
Yeah.
He didn't have access to Wi-Fi, so he was like, "Hey, can you put the BDM shows on thumb drive and mail it to me?" Like, yes. Now, if you have access to Wi-Fi, don't
make
it-
us do extra
Yeah,
work.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
get it on.
Yeah.
This
you know.
guy's stranded. That in fact,
Since March.
we can't give you too many details because
Right.
he asked us not to, and I would imagine some of it is sensitive, and we don't want to be Geraldo. Remember that when he was
Yeah.
like basically drawing a map of where the troops were. But anyway, he's out in. I know he's floating in the ocean, right? And he cannot get home. So, and he's been there since March.
Because of the pandemic.
Because of the pandemic. So we are hooking him up with hundreds of BDM shows for free. So send us an email with your address and how we can get them to you. We'll burn you off a flash drive, put it in the mail, and it costs you nothing. Let's try this one right here.
So I don't understand. If you guys are like 50-50 partners, right? So why is it Dan drives the respectable grocery getter mom car and I mean, I know Dan lives in the 17-story mansion, but we all know he stole that. I don't get it, you know. You guys are always worried about money, and Andrea's always worried about money, but Tom, I mean, boats and hoes and
Hose.
he's just new pool screens and I mean,
He's hiding the
remodels.
big bucks. That's
Look,
what
he makes.
he may
more,
be onto something here.
He makes more money than me. We've talked about this.
Yeah, we're 50-50 partners, but I have a higher salary.
Right.
And you know, that's how it works in business.
I've asked for him to justify said salary and provide me his tax returns, and he will not do it.
Gotta talk to Bernie.
never see
I
him.
tried to take it to court. It's
yeah.
just, everybody says it's an impossibility. It can never happen. There's like, it'll never happen.
Yeah,
I'm
you'll
like,
never see my tax return.
and I'm like, why? It's been tradition that when you go into business with somebody, you kind of know where you stand. And nope, it's never going to happen.
And also, sir, you got to remember what I'm buying. Like, it seems
A lot of grifty.
And let's
Yeah.
also not forget that Crystal Van is selling houses left and right.
yeah.
She's
Working
making
her
some
ass
good
off.
income over there.
Yeah, and it seems like
And my car's
Arguably
nice.
more than Tom.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
car's nice. It's got a lot
Daniel's
of tech
car's
on it.
nicer
It
than
is
my car.
It is a nice car.
Yeah,
It's a super nice car. It's just not.
Yeah.
I didn't go get some flashy. I got an Atlas Cross Sport.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
a nice
I don't
car.
mind talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. You know, it's perfect for what the family needed. A little upgrade. In a couple of years, I'll give it to my wife.
So the boat I bought from a BDM.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You
Falcon
see how well
Virginia.
that's
Yeah,
going.
he gave me
man.
a good deal, and so it was like not.
He's the grift king. You know he's got
You know,
good
It
Norm-
deals.
was 18 grand. I
Norm
mean, it's not
said-
like it's 50 grand.
It's funny. Norm brings up something that I've heard from people before, that some of the questions that we get are weird. I don't think that's a weird question because we
No.
share so much.
Mm.
I kind of expect you guys to ask silly things like that.
also
You know,
Daniel.
people ask about money or cars or soapy butt or if my anxiety's real or if your bumbling's real or if Sam's paranoia's real or did Butler really, I don't know, chop the trees. Yes, it's 99% accurate.
Yeah.
Maybe embellished a little
Right.
bit to be more entertaining, but it's pretty accurate stuff.
Also, Daniel and Andrea, they are responsible adults.
They don't lump me in there.
Andrea, and
Yeah,
that
she budgets a
She
lot.
budgets herself, and they're saving money for the. I'm blowing it all, and
Yeah, she's saving.
I'm in debt. I can't spend it fast enough. I
like that. See, I'd rather marry you.
I don't look at the future. I'm like, future. I'll never make it there, and so I'm just
That's what I
blowing
say.
all my money.
You can't take it with you. Like people,
Yeah.
you know what's funny is that people say that all the time. They're like, you can't take it with you. You can't take it with you. Yet people still save. I'm like, well, then you're not even listening to that.
Yeah.
Right.
What real, like, have you seen like an old man or what? I mean, I'll just be a greeter at Walmart if it, like, if it got real bad,
I mean, if it gets real bad, I'll just, I don't know, I'll just go walk into the ocean. I have
There's always that.
Yeah, there's always a plan B. Now,
Yeah.
it's going to be grim.
Dude, that actually makes me, I think about the worst
I do
case
too.
scenario all the time. And,
Me too.
Like,
As long as I can look in the corner of my bedroom and see a shotgun, I know there's a plan B. And I feel comforted
yeah,
in
you
that.
always have that out. No
Back
one
to
can
the
take
peanut
it.
butter shotgun.
Yeah,
old days.
nobody can take that from me.
Yeah, no one can
I
take it away from
control
you.
that.
Yeah.
I'm the captain.
Unless you mess up on the first try.
I'm like, oh, God.
And then
Maisie, get in here.
you render
Finish me
yourself
off.
incapable of doing it again,
Yeah.
or it dawns on you that was a very bad mistake, and you've blown half your face off,
Yeah.
and then you're like, oh God, it's worse than before.
Yeah.
And now I'm scared.
I would have to think of something real fast. I have to.
Yeah, you
I
got
don't.
dark.
I'd like drag my body to the toilet and try to stick half my head in there.
Okay.
Flush it good.
Yeah. Usually that's not the case though.
No.
It scares you, and to be like, oh, I shouldn't do
I'm
that
like,
again.
I should not have done that. Wow, that face looks bad. That's bad. Don't look at me now. I've changed my mind on this whole Plan B thing, but no one wants to do business with me, and I can't talk
Yeah.
because my lips are gone.
Also, there's something to be said about if Daniel buys the proper items, top of the line, that have the best reviews and stuff like that. So I'm buying, shim shammy things here and there that it's on the surface it looks like it's the same, but it's not the same.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'm buying the used, the deal, scratch and dent,
Yeah.
the griff, the this, the that.
I
It's
don't like to pile on, but the difference is like I live in a home and you live like in a movie set. It's like it's just the front.
A lot of props.
Yeah, it looks like an old West
yeah.
bank, and then behind there's just sandbags
Yeah.
that just prop it up, and then
Yeah.
they just stay in like a little pop-up.
Like
camper.
I want the finer things in life, but I can't afford the best and the greatest.
Yeah.
So I subpar get the used but still the same thing, but
Yeah.
drastically different in price anyway.
Yeah. Let's go with this one.
Hey gang, it's Zach from Ohio. So a buddy of mine was installing the new electric for his washer and dryer, the 220 volts, and he electrocuted himself and woke up 30 seconds later on the floor. He'd like passed out or whatever the hell, and his wife was freaking out and screaming because she thought he was dead. He it went in through his hand and it like blew a hole in his shirt, and he's got a big scar or a big wound on his hand and a big wound on his side where near his hip where it like shot out of his body. Have you guys ever been electrocuted really bad?
Not really bad.
Not bad.
Or lightning shoots out of your flanks. Not that bad. Like, my God.
Lightning flank man.
It blew a hole in your flanks. Like, blood. Like, that's real bad. Like,
I don't want that because, like, okay, follow me with this.
no one wants
My
that.
love handles. I don't know. I'm throwing this question out to everybody in the studio, Butler, everybody
Sensitive.
included.
Cold.
Yeah, they're sensitive. I have the most sensitive area of my body are my baloney flanks. And if you scratch them, if Maisie elbows them because she's bony,
Yeah.
if my wife wants to get me, if anybody gets me there, I go nuts. I hate it. So I can only imagine how painful it would be to have your flanks blown off.
Yeah.
Blew my flanks off.
Yeah, it not only blew it off, but the electricity was exploding out of them.
Yeah, it cooked it. It cooked your flanks.
Yeah. So you not only have the wound, but I'm sure the electricity is burning its way out of you.
Yeah. I blew
that's
myself
real
off
bad.
a ladder. It was less of a I electrocuted myself real bad, and more of a I'd never been hit by electricity before, and it scared me.
Yeah, shock scared.
So
you,
I
yeah.
shocked myself just putting in a stupid fan, and then I fell off the ladder because I'm, all of 2.5 feet tall.
Yeah, the stun guns and things like that as the worst.
Well, that's purposeful.
Yeah.
Buck Tucker said he blew his class ring off.
Oh, they blew your fingers off?
I did. I blew my class ring off, but it was at the movies.
I just plugged in a lamp in a poorly wired shed that we used to hang out in as kids, and it did throw me to the ground. But
you went
it
back
felt like
there?
it vibrated my bones. But
You went back to the shed?
What?
Oh, I thought you were saying I went. I thought you were going back. I thought this was recent.
No, that is no longer existent.
And being shocked will scare the hell out of you.
Yeah, it will.
It's I barely touched a 220 or was messing around with the plug in the Heroin Alley house. The plug. Why are all dryer plugs? They're hangy,
the pigtail.
They're never established. I think there's a reason for it, but they're not affixed to the wall. They're always just hanging. You know what I'm saying? It's either on the floor or whatever.
Yeah.
It's anyway.
What?
Yeah,
it's extended out. It's not like a plug in.
Yeah,
it's not
like an outlet that is secured to the wall that you plug into. It's always the 220 wire, and then the receptacle, the outlet is it's not affixed to anything.
It can be, but typically I've seen it not.
Anyway, I had one that didn't have any plastic guard on it, so it was just the 3-prong thing.
Yeah.
And then I held the back. I was like, I could just plug this right, and it got me to a point where it scared me. I'm not sure if it just I felt the electricity in my hand or whatever, but it was a point where I was like, "Go!" I was like, "Whew!" That I felt that all in my body, my heart.
I tricked Grift and Jess into touching an electric fence when we were kids.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
The amps, they're
It's just a little zap.
Yeah, it's okay.
You can have high volts. The amps is what kills you, I believe. That's why the tasers and whatever kill some people, but that they normally won't kill you.
You ever see the plugs when they tell you to get one of these like an inverter or an adapter when you go to Europe? And then when I look at the plugs that they have for hair dryers and stuff, I'm like, God, they're huge. I mean, the prongs for a British hair dryer are 7 inches long. I mean, you gotta shove it way into the wall. I mean, safety first in England.
Their wiring's deep in the walls.
I've got some of the ones that came with the fits for all of these key lights that I bought for our cameras in here, and it had obviously the North American plugs. And then you have all the other ones, and there's some weird looking ones.
Yeah.
And I've never understood why we just haven't standardized that.
Worldwide,
one of those, the British one or the North American one of them is better than the other. That's a fact. Which one is better?
Right.
And let's just go with that.
Yeah, dude. Well, it's the same thing with our system of measurement and stuff. We have a thing, America. And,
we're the best.
Or we just we're not gonna copy what everybody else does, or we're gonna do it this way. No
we're
matter
independent women.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, we'll just
I like metric, but
And so we're we're our plugs look like this, American plugs, and that's it. And then who's gonna Are we going to? I mean, there's too many out there. It's already done.
Too far gone.
Too far gone.
I also remember my dad with certain appliances, and I don't know what this does, but I don't know how it functions in science. I'm sure Bracken could explain it to us, or any electrician or any person. But you have the 3-prong plug, 2 that I'm assuming are power. The one at the bottom is said to be a ground plug.
Is that the case?
I guess. And I can remember my dad, if it was a 3-prong and the 3rd prong in the bottom got janky, he would just wiggle it back and forth, rip it out. He'd run whatever.
Okay.
He's running a buzzsaw without a guard, without a ground plug. He didn't care.
Yeah. What is it? So, but
if it didn't need to be there, my point though is, if it didn't need to be there, then why did my dad wiggle it until it got loose and then rip it off?
Yeah, I have no idea.
To him, it was just getting in the way. So what was the point?
Yeah, there has to be a reason, probably an extra safety measure. Usually on longer extension cords, they're always 3 instead of 2. The less, I don't know. I have no idea what the hell.
I've never understood that.
Yeah, but there's things like that all the time. We're oh, you don't need that. I'm really? Why is it there? Oh no,
right.
We didn't go without that. It's okay, but
sounds like
there's a
nothing.
reason.
But nothing is standardized. If you go to put every fan in my home that was built, 2005. And the fixtures they're not new, but they're not old. Every single one has a different, it's like, you have a yellow wire, a white wire, a green wire, and then sometimes a red, and then occasionally a black.
Right,
and then they'll throw a black-white in there occasionally. Then
You got to Google everything.
Then a black-white, and I'm like, oh, you got 2 greens. You got 2 greens. Well, put the double ground wires together. What do you mean double ground? None of it is standardized.
Yeah, well, like, why is this a black-white? The black is the power, the hot, the white. What's a black-white?
Yeah, I want just a standard. This does this, this does this, and this does it. I don't want it to all be
variables,
different. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
I think things would be a lot easier if we made things a lot easier, but
And then they're like, oh, well, this is bad. Your whole house is wired with aluminum, and bad. Like, why'd they do that? Why'd they do it?
Tell me why.
If it was this bad, who the hell did it?
Oh no, 1,000 ghosts. Watch out. Something else is going to
something
fall.
else is going to break in here. Everything's okay. All right, we'll keep moving.
I thought we were done with that. Now I never know.
Bye-bye.
Let's try. We already did that one. Let's go with this one.
Hey gang, it's Zach from Ohio.
Hey,
Did you know that in Oregon, it was not until May 24th of this year that people were allowed to pump their own gasoline. There had to be a professional gasoline attendant who would pump your gas for you, like the old times. Now, I read a bunch of funny tweets and stuff about how there's essentially a huge pushback against it, about how it's dangerous and people are going to die. I don't know. The whole thing was very silly.
Well,
I'd prefer it.
What is
It's stupid. Why do we have that?
Yeah, you're right. In Jersey and maybe some other
There's
states.
a couple other states, but I prefer that.
But I don't want to talk
I don't want to get out.
anybody.
No, I don't want to talk to him.
But you have to tip them?
Yeah, you have to talk to
Do
him,
I have
and
to
you
tip
should
him?
tip them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
You're going to have to communicate what you want. I don't want to do that.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll do that.
It was
but
so easy. Like, it's not dangerous
they're
at
gross. Gross handles.
I mean,
smell of gas.
I could see it if
I don't
you
even
were
turn my
doing-
car off.
If you were doing like a throwback.
And also, as a girl, the worst place to be is a gas station because every dude wants to talk to you while you're pumping your gas, and you can't go anywhere because you're held hostage by pumping your gas.
I've never understood that.
Being a girl, it's like, when you see a homeless guy and you're pumping gas, you're like, God damn it, he's coming for me.
Yeah.
Like,
You gotta,
Oh, we get that every day, but it's every dude.
I know.
It doesn't have to be someone that's homeless.
You got to turn away.
It's because the horniness of men.
Y'all got to get it together. Talk to your fellow man.
No,
I don't know who
leave
does
them
that.
alone. And if I see something wrong, I don't speak out.
See something, don't say something.
I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Okay, I know that the whole thing is percentages, and with those, you talk to any of those guys that hit on women a lot, and they'll probably tell you that. It's all a numbers game.
We were just talking about this.
And they do it to 1,000 women, they'll get like an X amount.
Yeah, but can you stop traumatizing the other
Yeah,
900
yeah.
women?
Yeah.
It's like so much work for such little
Right.
benefit at the end. You're like, how many really do you have to go up to at a gas station?
And by the way, if you have to do that, you do not have any game. That is a lame thing to do.
yeah. It could never work, right?
It has to, because why is it so common?
Does it
I don't
work?
know. I'm
with,
trying to.
Or is it just dumb guys that talk to each
Yeah.
other and they tell each other that it works, so then they all try? I don't know. Someone tell me why.
How could
Tell
it,
me
yeah,
why.
yeah. How could it possibly ever work? Like, has there?
Leave us a voicemail if you've done that and it worked.
Because the type of guy that does that. Okay, so say if you're Ryan Gosling and you look like him,
Burgermeister Gaming, thank you for the tip.
you wouldn't do this because I assume that you could get a lot of women, a lot of different ways, and you don't need to go up them to strangers at gas stations. So, okay, let's X out the possibility that you look like Ryan Gosling, right? So then you look like whatever you look like, but it's not maybe a supermodel or whatever.
you're bigger.
Man, I don't know. I'm just saying that you're not so incredibly attractive that no woman could
Are
turn
you
you
a
away.
Chungus
Right?
people among
You're
us?
an average Joe.
You're just an average Joe, right? Maybe you're not a Chungus, but you're an average Joe. No offense, Norm Chungus, not talking about you.
Sorry, Norm. You're a big fat Chungus.
So, so you're an average Joe, and you're going up to random strangers at gas stations, and then throwing out some corny, pickup line,
it's
or
everywhere,
just
'cause-
how can it work?
But
Sam
is right, because it's everywhere too. It's like in line to get a sandwich at Wawa, in line to wait for your sandwich at Wawa while you're pumping gas. It's
I
like
mean, in
every,
public.
Yeah,
Just
getting
in public.
lotto ticket. It's like every aspect of it.
So okay, let's even look at break down the percentages even further. So what's the chances?
Oh, by the way, I've never done it, and I've also talked to a lot of girls, and I've dated a lot of. You see what I'm saying? Like, so
Yeah.
I'll put myself in the category of, but I've never, ever said something
just random stranger
just to a girl.
It doesn't have to be
never done that.
creepy, but maybe it's like you're just trying to get to know them or like meet them and then maybe get their number out. I don't know what your end result is, but like let's say that is.
Now, I've looked at people, like if Sam were pumping her gas right there and I'm pumping my gas, I've looked at people like that and been like, oh, hey, good afternoon. You know, like I've done that. That's about as far as it goes.
But why? I never even say hi to anybody.
No,
else.
if we catch eyes, I mean, like if we're like doing it
Oh,
and
yeah,
we look
I'll
at
be
each other
polite
and I'm
about
like,
it.
oh,
Right.
just like, hey there, you know, like.
No, so okay, let's break it down. So the best possible scenario that you can get from meeting a stranger somewhere and
If
then
she
like,
gets in your car and asks you
well,
to, you know,
not
perform.
even. No, that's impossible. Let's
Right, no.
take that out of there.
Oh, I was making that best.
So I'm saying best is like reasonable best.
Get a number?
Get a number,
Okay.
right? So you're hoping that you can get this person's number to then contact them later, right? Because what does it matter if you don't get their information?
Right.
You'll never see them again. So what are the chances that the person that you approach isn't married, isn't with a significant other?
A lot of them don't care.
Like, I know that, but I'm saying, so those are out. Like
On both sides, too.
All,
Yikes.
all those women aren't going to give a stranger their number for any reason, right? We assume that that's probably
I can't imagine they
95,
would.
99%. You know, like if you're already in a relationship, the chance of you just deciding to give
At
some
a random stranger at the gas station.
Yeah. Like,
Unless you're Ryan Gosling.
Yeah. Oh, like so insanely good looking that you're like, wow, I may cheat on my.
Even then, then, I don't know. I would imagine, even if a good-looking man hollered at Samantha while she was
she's
pumping
not
her gas, she's gonna be like, "What the hell are you doing, weirdo?"
Yeah. It'd
You
be
know,
a weird
like,
thing.
It is. It's still, no matter what, it's weird.
So then,
I
okay,
agree.
let's take those people out, and I imagine that that's half of the women, right? Like, let's say they're in relationships.
Yeah.
maybe
or more. Yeah.
At a certain age, maybe the younger, they're less into like at least serious relationship. But let's say you take half. So then now you're only working with 50% chance that one of the women that you approach are single. And then what are the chances that that single lady is going to give their number to a stranger that they meet at a gas station? It's got to be so minuscule that it can't be worth it.
As much as you like gambling, I'm amazed that you didn't like just fall in love with statistics in high school, because you're basically doing every problem that our teacher would make us, boil down, and you just keep diluting it and diluting it to the point where what you're looking at, it's like, like, why are you wasting the effort to do that now? You do know that this is, first of all, you're not in an area that's receptive to that,
Yeah.
It's got to be
there
done
are
now,
places
right?
that
In
women
COVID
go where
time,
single women go. There are places where single women are more likely to go, where buying them a drink or saying hello would be, even cool.
Maybe they're there to meet people, or to meet people or something like that.
Yeah.
And then
Not at the gas station.
Just a necessity at the gas station.
But at the gas station and other places in public, like, man, I can't imagine that it's even worth the effort to
I think
go
you're
out
right.
there, because like, and so that makes me think, like, why do people even do it? And that makes me think that it may work, because why would they do it if it hadn't worked at least once in their life?
What about?
Maybe I should ask the next guy that says something to me at a gas
Yeah, but
station. That could get dangerous.
Yeah, that could get dangerous. Because
Like, how often does this work for you, sir?
No, but then
I'll get inside your car and we can talk about it.
No, but you'd have to say it like you couldn't even say it like that, because you saying that becomes like a diss.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You'd have to say like, "Hey, I'm on a show. We were just
God,
talking
what
about
a
this.
world we
Does
live in."
this actually work for you?"
When you
And
dance around your feelings, even though
Please-
you're sexually harassing me.
Please don't hurt me.
Yeah. It's just it's insane to me, because it seems like such an effort for a minuscule result.
Well, guys will do that though, and also I think there's a huge problem in that a lot of these guys are probably going through the motions of something that them and their boys, and maybe even like, I don't know, sexual or porn society has created these unrealistic scenarios where guys think that they can actually meet an eligible girl. You know what I mean? Like, those things just don't happen.
It's also the hooting and hollering at your car at people walking by like that. That's just a troll move, right? That,
Yeah, yeah.
That has nothing.
Had a guy do it to me the other day. I was getting out of no, he's like booty.
Booty.
He yelled, but yeah, he yelled booty at
Did you have
me.
booty shorts on?
Are you
No,
sure?
but I think he was like calling. I think he was like being mean to me.
That's a weird.
Maybe they were yelling.
No,
at someone else.
I get it a lot because I'm small.
They call you booty.
Booty?
I get called booty a lot.
Booty Danny.
Is it because
Yeah.
little people have big booties?
Yeah,
Booty.
well, I have
Booty.
those, and I have those turned in legs.
Yeah.
And when I walk, and when I walk with my, well, I didn't want to say this, but when I walk with my Subway sandwich, it drags the ground.
it's more of a waddle.
Yeah, it's more of a waddle.
Yeah.
Hopefully this year, Tom is going to pay me enough so I can get this surgery to correct my legs.
Oh, they have to break.
I've
them
been
good.
wanting to
You
do
gotta
that.
get the Forrest
But
Gump braces.
he's got such a bigger salary than me. I keep
Yeah.
begging him. I'm like, all I want to do is get rid of my Vern Troyer legs. And he's like, nope, you're keeping them. Those are the money makers. And I'm like, all right. He's like, now get out there and dance with your Subway. I'm
Shake
like,
your
all
booty.
right, I'm dancing with my meatball sub. He makes me slow dance with it and then kiss it.
All right.
What are we doing?
We're going. Bye. Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
Samantha's here. How you doing, Samantha?
I'm doing all right.
Oh, why'd you have to say it like that?
He thinks
What?
I'm at a gas station.
Yeah, did you see that? Did you see what he did there?
I don't
He
know.
does that. That's why he
Being
doesn't.
polite.
That's why I don't typically let him
You
talk to
never
you very
ask
much.
me how
He's
I'm
like,
doing.
I don't know.
How are you
'Cause
doing?
I'm awkward.
How are you doing over there, Shamila? Oh, yeah.
I didn't know where I was gonna go, and then
Yeah,
was
I know
just
where you wanted to go.
No, come on. I just awkward as a nicety.
Mm-hmm.
How much?
What?
You could tell when a guy's hitting on you as opposed to just being nice to you, right? Or is it a fine line that you sometimes you can't tell which one is it?
I'm 99% sure I can tell.
Because there's a horniness. That's where the creepiness comes from, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that's where you could easily tell the difference
Well, you
between
know, I mean,
just being
I mean,
polite and nice and
You're not that guy, but
creepy.
you got it in you. You know,
What,
I
the
mean, the
horniness?
horniness is in there.
oh, it's in there.
You got the horniness in you.
Well, I think it's in
Remember that
all
song?
guys, like ingrained into.
Not all guys are horny.
No, that's true. Well, yeah, I made a broad statement, but a lot of guys, I'll say, they are just really horny, right?
Yeah, I
it's
think
that
so.
testosterone we have, and a lot of other factors that just.
You've gotten hornier since you've lost weight, right? But you think
Yeah.
your testosterone's like through the roof now.
Well, I think it's higher than it was.
It will go up when you lose weight.
Yeah.
I want to get it tested to find out how
Do
much
it.
higher, because it was low before.
We can do it again. We
Yeah.
can set it up.
Oh, we can
Fat
have him.
Tom had under what you were supposed to have.
I remember Fat Tom. He's the black guy that used to be on the Phillips File, right?
Oh yeah. What happened to that guy?
I don't know.
No.
You got to be old now, right?
He's
Yeah,
old
that's-
Fat Tom now.
Yeah. Because I think he was like in his 40s. Everybody like
He was
close to
never
60.
fat either, which was always
Oh, really?
weird. Yeah, like when I met him, I'm like, you're not fat. That kind of ruined it.
Yeah, it's radio magic.
I guess. You guys want to do voicemail emails?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Let's.
You're right. It's kind of like Fat Mike from NoFX. He's never been really fat.
Just kind of
chubby-ish.
sloppy.
yeah, just a
Yeah.
little sloppy, but not. I wouldn't consider it fat enough to garner the nickname
Right.
Fat Mike.
We need to reach out to Adam the Woo. That guy's losing weight like crazy too.
Oh, really?
I didn't realize he was a bigger dude, but apparently he'd gotten up to about like 280 pounds or something.
He's a big frame dude.
He carries
Yeah,
it well,
yeah.
though. Yeah, I mean, big punk rock bass playing
Yeah.
dude. But yeah, he's lost. I want to say he's lost like 60 pounds, 100 pounds.
Wow.
something. Yeah, he looks awesome. But we need to reach back out to him. He's been doing his daily Woo YouTube channel, and I think he's taking a little bit of a break from it just during this kind of strange area right now. And I think he's starting back up in a couple of weeks. We'll reach out to him. Speaking of where are they now, let's try this.
Hello, Tom, Dan, Sam, and Choppin' Dobson. I have a where are they and where is it now question. First, where are they now? Two standards in the voicemail rotation that I haven't heard from forever. Not sure if they're not leaving them or Dan's not playing them. They're just not any good anymore. Manny Manny Wetmouth
brought that
and
up.
Jim from Lakeland, especially Jim from Lakeland. Love that guy. I can
Me
listen to his
too.
voice and stories all day long. And Animal Crossing seemed to burn hot for a while. I did not partake in it, but you guys still on the Animal Crossing train. I'll hang up and listen. Love you guys. BDM for life.
I am still on the Animal Crossing train.
Man, I fell off. I got to get back on. I haven't played I played once since I moved, and that was in May.
The ability to swim in the ocean is pretty fun.
I did that. I did that
Yeah.
once.
The
So right
swimming
when
is
that came
cool.
out, I jumped on there for about an hour, and then I
Yeah.
haven't been back.
Yeah, it's definitely fun. I've been
Maybe I'll do that tonight.
I've been dancing back into that. I'm playing Tropico right now, and then this morning I downloaded the new PGA Tour game that came out, and like a little game for Maisie that's like a, I don't know, some sort of kid game, like a Barbie thing.
But yeah, I imagine that Animal Crossing. I mean, there's just going to be the next better thing or the new thing.
Well,
and
they've
so
been
it's
doing
like,
updates pretty regularly.
Right, yeah.
So I mean, they're good about always updating and giving you cool stuff.
They'll retain some of the core fans and stuff like that, but people just like Samantha, but they got into playing it and then they fell off, and then they'll find a new thing. It seems like that's like
I have no time.
yeah. Well, also people like 80, they get tired of it. Like, oh, next thing. This is
Yeah.
always the next thing, right?
Yeah, I enjoy it, but I get to a point where I just want to I'm like, I don't know, I want to play something a little bit different. One of the reasons why I'm really digging the Tropico game is the fact that I can stop. Like when the island ends, I can just start a new one.
What
it's
is
pretty
that?
quick. It's the one where I'm like sort of a Caribbean military leader. I'm like a dictator of a Caribbean nation.
Is it like Sim City or
Sort
something?
of, yeah. But you have like an army, and you deal with like capitalists and communists, and
My God.
you have to communicate with all the different superpowers.
Is it a game where you build?
Yeah, like
a-
sandbox style.
Okay, you build a. I don't know what.
I
the
build
term
like a
is.
little Caribbean island. I've got tourism. I've got
Okay.
tobacco growing, sugar growing for my rum plant.
And so you got to make your citizens happy
Yep.
by having a good economy.
but I also
then-
want to bring money in. I
Yeah.
want to bring tourists into my country.
But
I
you
want
can go to war with someone else. Or,
Well, they can come and invade us because we're pretty small, but you try to like balance out. Like you've got the religious faction on one end, but then you've got, maybe
Okay.
the communists are saying they'd want an atheist nation, and I got to balance it all out.
Okay.
It's pretty cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a fun game.
More adult than the old Animal Crossing.
Yeah,
that's what
but
I like about
it's cute. Like they put like little animations of the different people, So like the German guy, when like you're going through World War II, he's like he talks like this, and he's like the stereotypical
Oh, it's a
German.
lighthearted Nazi.
Yeah. Well, they don't make him a Nazi because they can't, but you know who he is. You see him and you're like, I know who you are.
And as far as Jem from Lakeland and Manny,
Don't know.
We were just talking about Manny Wet Mouth, and we thought that we may have scared
His
him
mouth
away.
might have dried up.
We bullied him too much, and we have the tendency to do that, and then we scare the ones we love
Well,
away.
what sucks is our little pets.
Remember Ben Bungie?
Yeah, well, our little pets, they'll call in, and if you abuse them too much, they'll eventually wake up and they'll be like, why the hell am I providing these guys?
I think it may have started after the Our Team theme song.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That you and Butler did.
That caused a lot of dissension.
It did.
In our team.
Yeah, it really rattled them.
And then some, though, when too full, the Cadillac Pat, he'll do anything to get on the show.
Oh, yeah, he's begging
He
us.
won't stop emailing.
He's like, I'll
me.
bring in a COVID test, man. I'll prove to
He
you.
did say
I'll
that.
prove to you.
Yeah.
I'll make love to you.
Yeah. It's 3 weeks old, but 3 weeks ago I didn't have COVID.
It's
All
my
right.
grandpa's COVID test. He does not have COVID.
Well, how's that help
only
us
do- yeah,
today?
yeah. I have COVID, and my my and one basketball shorts and my fur coat have COVID. Oh, great job.
So some of our team really, they're stronger than ever. They'll die for us.
Oh, yeah.
But then
Yeah, ride or die.
Jim and Manny, they left. They abandoned ship.
People love Jim, though. He is the.
I love them both.
He's like the poet laureate of the
There's
show.
a few we can get rid of on this
Yeah,
list.
I think Business Pro is waning.
he's teetering, yeah.
Business Baby, he's back.
He's
with
a
him.
fan favorite, but he's a hard listen for me. But that just should prove to you that not everything has to be what I like.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Then there's crazy ass Tuttle. He's in there somewhere.
Oh yeah, Vulture emailed me earlier. That's
Oh.
that's Tuttle's producer's name. Everyone.
Tuttle's producer's name, is it Vulture or The Vulture?
Just Vulture.
Just Vulture.
Okay. We are not making this up. This is 100%.
Yeah, that is weird.
He was giving me tips on how to book an interview that I don't really care to do.
Well, what
He's
is-
telling me to slide in some random
Yeah.
guy's DMs.
I
I'm like,
mean-
dude.
He's
If you want to book Gucci Berry.
we tried that.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
Oh.
I know.
Who does Vulture want you to interview?
Remember the guy that Tuttle was telling us
the
about the
CEO
CEO?
of Boost
Yeah.
Mobile.
We should
Yeah.
talk about
Yeah.
that. Oh God.
You can talk about it, I guess.
Maybe we should wait till I have
Yeah.
Tuttle back on, and then I'll
Yeah.
we'll climb
Yeah. I don't need to
But,
find a manifesto under my
Oh,
door
Lord.
this
Oh,
weekend.
but you should, go to Tuttle. It's on Tuttle's YouTube, or where's the video of that? Because the video is really funny because it looks like it looks like Timothy McVeigh talks to Epstein.
Hold on, let me try one. You're not wrong.
Yeah, it's
Tuttle
crazy.
inside his mobile home, and his hand is shaved, and he got his Unabomber glasses on, and it's all dark, and then he's talking to some like
I'm
good-looking-
making my own bullets.
He's a mansion. He's obviously sitting in some gigantic mansion. He's like the CEO of Boost Mobile. I'm like, how did this happen? Like, this would never happen in the past. Like, the CEO would never have time to talk to some Unabomber in a mobile home, right?
Yeah,
but
you're
it's
right.
happening.
Yeah,
We're
I don't
watching
know why.
it.
Hey, that's the power of Vulture. Apparently.
You're right.
My God.
Vulture, powered by Vulture. Let's try this one for voicemails.
Hey gang, it's Zach from Ohio.
God
When's
damn
the
it.
last time you guys played the lottery? I remember I used to work at a machine shop. There's probably, like 60 other people there. And we would all go in on a big lottery, like Mega Millions thing. We'd all buy a ticket and split it if we won. I haven't played since then because honestly I'm never going to win anyway. But it's always pretty exciting when you think, ooh, what am I going to do with the money?
Yeah. That's the only reason to play.
That's the fun part.
just for the
Last time I
fantasy,
played the
yeah.
lottery, probably the last massive Powerball. I always pick up like one ticket or something just for fun.
Yeah. If I get really high and I in depth think about what would be the reality if I did win like a ridiculous sum of money, and every foreseeable theory in my head, it turns out bad for my family.
Not me. I don't think that far. Like for me, I know, and I've thought of this multiple times, so I'll tell it to you guys.
Yeah.
But I immediately would play an elaborate prank on you guys.
Okay.
All four of you here, with the idea of making it better by giving you some money, but I wouldn't show up and I would hide.
Okay. All right.
And then make you worry about me.
Man.
And then when you finally track me down and were mad at me for avoiding you, I hand you each $100,000 a piece.
Okay.
And then you love me.
That is very odd. I mean, I'll take it, but I'm like, this guy's crazy.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
crazy. But
there are a few things I make you do before I give you the briefcase.
Because there's no...
We'll go into those later.
There's no way to turn it down, obviously, and you could rationalize it, trying to figure out a way to make it work, and you could say to yourself, like, well, I'll only take a small percentage, and I'll put the rest in savings, and I won't give my family that much, and I won't give my sons that much to ruin them, and, like, I'll really try to appreciate the thing, and, like, all these things you could try to rationalize, I know the reality is that if you gave me unlimited money, it would cause...
Boats and hoes, baby.
Yeah, it would cause a...
Then you have to do the most good with it.
A slide.
Like you have to do what Juan said. Juan said, I can say without hesitation that I would just give away 90% of the money.
Yeah.
You'd have to do
Yeah,
that.
if it's a crazy amount.
You'd have to think about what good you could do and then just go in that direction.
The problem is you say that, and in theory, it sounds perfect, and it sounds like the way to solve this problem, which is like you
Hey,
get too
put
much.
it into the mental health facilities you were
That's
talking
true.
about.
Yeah, you say it, but once you get it,
You're
though,
like,
I think
Man, you think he's going to care about the mental
Hell no!
Yeah.
I'm already thinking about it.
Yeah.
I'll never give nothing away.
Yeah, I'm not giving my money to those crazies.
What is that going to do? They're going to poo-poo on it. Literally.
I'm certainly not giving my money to those drug addicts.
Yeah. No.
They're lost. They're worthless people.
So in theory, it's great, but the problem is that it'll corrupt you, and I think it'll corrupt your thinking. And when you actually get it, and that's the reality, I don't know if you do it.
Where's the cutoff? Where does the corruption start? How much money?
The corruption. Okay. I thought you were talking. I was just gonna say the corruption for me starts when I start wearing those silky Juggalo shirts, and then wear my cross outside of the shirt like the My Pillow Man.
If you go home, like come home with after taxes and all that, like over $5 million, I think that's where it's like, it's a lot. Like $1 million is fine because
your debt's
$1 million,
gone instantly.
You can just pay off your stuff, put some in savings, and all of a sudden you don't have that much. You buy some toys.
That's kind of the problem, right?
But then at 5, you're just like, then it starts becoming like, wow, you're like, that's a lot.
Like when I go debt free is when it becomes a problem, because I think the debt that I have right now keeps me in check.
Right.
Well, also there is something to be said, and I think psychology has proven this. If you don't work for something, it's going to be valued in your mind less. And I think when you have all this money and you can buy whatever, like all these things that you buy that you think are going to make you happy, become devalued in your head, and then I foresee that causing some sort of long-term depression.
Could you get
where you can't buy, like it's meaningless. It's like you always wanted your, you still do your rooftop tent.
Yeah,
right?
I want that bad.
And it's gonna feel so much better. Like if
I
you
read
use
about
the
it every night. Yeah,
use the money you work for. If you could just get it at any time, I feel like it would just be
It
devalued.
ruins it. It ruins it. In fact, I don't want to get it too fast because I'm really enjoying the research.
Yeah.
I've met a couple friends on the camper group. We've got some BDMs that do it.
That's
some
part of it.
BDMs are already in the group.
If you could just get whatever you want at all times, then it just.
But hold on a second. I know you're a big fan of this. What if I start a business? Now, normally this is what you say.
Yeah.
I'm going to start a business for people that win the lottery where I can go in with sophisticated science and using psychology and mind control, and I'm going to reprogram you to think that you earn that money. That way, when you think you've earned the money, you won't have the negative effects of having it just handed to you.
Okay, that's pretty good. Like if you were somehow able to reprogram our brain.
Because it'd be real in my brain.
Yeah.
In my brain, I worked my entire life enslaved to get that money. So it means something to me. The value is instantly increased.
Yeah.
And I know you're a big fan of mind control.
And
he is. Everything he ever comes up with is like it's a warehouse where he's going to create your dreams.
Yeah.
You would go into business with that, right?
Well, the problem
is... It's a very specialized, it's expensive, but hey, we guarantee that you will not F up your life.
The problem is once you already have it, you already know better. You're like, this is not affecting me. It's already done. Like, you can only pre-see what was going to happen, but I think once you have that money, you would be like, oh, I'm fine. Like, I'm going to do the smart thing. And then slowly but surely... it just ends up ruining aspects of your life and your kids. And
Has there
stuff.
ever been a person who won the lottery who was not rich or independently wealthy, who took their winnings, put it in the bank, and then just said,
yeah,
I know what's going to happen here, and I'm not willing to do that?
Yes, there has. There's been people that have been responsible with it and stuff like that. And there's people that have actually done the smart thing and that probably... invested it correctly or didn't let it ruin them as much, and but that I think is the anomaly. I think the what is going to happen is that it will be somehow maybe your life wouldn't be as happy as it would have been if you didn't win, and that seems ridiculous. But man, the older I get, I see people with money all the time, way more money than I do, way more money than I can ever make, and I'm like, man,
you're speaking.
They're
the
not
truth.
happy. Like they
look around here. Some of the people in this neighborhood
they're miserable.
Are the most miserable people I have ever seen in my life.
And so it didn't matter if they have money or poor or rich. Like it's just who they are. So then it's like money is not gonna. So then it's like your own, like who you are and how comfortable you are with yourself and how can you make your own happiness. Not to sound like some sort of motivational speaker here, but like
you do.
I really because. You've seen tons of people that have nothing. That Rob Greenfield that just goes around.
The happiest dude in town.
Yeah. Just so that makes me think it's all internal and it's about your mindset and like no money is going to now.
Positive vibes only. Write that down.
It'll make your life more comfortable, but I believe that there is a max comfort level that you don't need it to be. Because all of us have pretty comfortable. Like if you have AC. You have enough money to pay your bills. You got water. You
I
got
sleep
food.
on an air mattress.
So like, there's the basic human comforts, and once you got those, like, it can only incrementally get better, and up to a certain point, and then it doesn't matter after that.
Yeah,
like how big you don't like. To me, it would be gross to live in a 17-bedroom mansion. Like I couldn't live like that. Because I would be like, this is too much. This is gross. This like, there's something gross to me about too elaborate of things that one person can't even enjoy.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Why do you need a 17? Like, do you have 17? Do you have a bunch of people staying? No, most of these people have these giant mansions. No one even uses it. Like Jerry Jones' yacht
it's just
or whatever.
A status thing at that point.
Yeah. So then what is it? Like that can't be making you happy if you just have some sort of thing you're paying to upkeep for
it's a
what?
waste.
It's just wasting money. Like the waste is gross.
This is a great question that I don't think we've ever really handled.
Hey, Tom, Dan, Samantha, and Butler. This is Vega from Umatilla. I have 2 questions.
Sexy voice.
My first question
hold on.
has
Push pause here. We don't get too many good, like, I don't know what she looks like, but she has the stereotypical hot girl voice, right?
Hey, what's up, guys? It's me, Vega.
Yeah, we mostly get
name.
fat wet mouths.
I'm in my backyard, drinking my hand.
So this is a new one for us. I'm excited.
Guys, it's me, Vega.
Yeah, her name is Vega for Umatilla.
Hey, Tom, Dan, Samantha, and Butler. This is Vega from...
Wait a minute. I think she's sweet on Butler. She's like,
oh, yeah.
Hey, Tom and Dan and Sam and Butler.
Oh, you definitely got a bucked up sticker on your,
Oh,
on your
yeah.
Jeep.
From Umatilla? Yeah.
uh-huh.
Yeah. All right.
Umatilla. I have 2 questions. My first question has to do with downloads. So when I'm using the app and click on the individual episode and listen to it, is that getting recorded as a download? Or do I need to click on the arrow that's beside the individual podcast and let it download, and then that gets recorded?
Definitely a hot girl, not good with technology.
Yeah. Also, how the hell do we know?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
you're asking us.
I've never listened to this show.
Yeah, why you ask us questions we obviously don't know the answer to? We don't know how it works.
She probably thought we were smart.
Yeah. It's magic,
Yeah, I don't know.
We don't even look at the
Are we even
downloads.
recording this? Who's editing this?
We don't know anything about
Yeah.
it. And what was her
Our
name?
Kurt
Yuma?
is, her name? No,
Vega.
not
Oh.
Uma. Yuma.
Oh, yeah.
6'10" to Yuma. What, that was who was that?
I thought.
Oh, I don't know.
I was going more with
Uma Thurman.
No, Paw Patrol recycling dog.
Zuma?
Oh, Zuma. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Not Uma.
Yeah,
Zuma's a boy dog. And he's everybody hates Zuma. He's the hippie of the group. He's like, let's recycle, guys. Everyone's like, shut the F up, Zuma. You stupid.
Yeah, we got a cop, a firefighter.
Yeah.
We got a cool helicopter chick.
Yeah, what are you? Oh,
We
great,
got
the
the
hippie's
bulldog
here.
bulldozer. What do you do? Recycle? Stupid.
Oh, hey, look. Oh, Zuma's here. He's wearing Sanooks. Good thing you're here, Zuma. Oh, we were just talking about you. Hey, Zuma, can you go over to the boombox? Go over to our Bluetooth and put on some fish.
What are you gonna do? The enemies don't recycle. They don't even care what you do.
Yeah, you gonna throw some Ben and Jerry's at him, Zuma? You stink.
You do got a cool hovercraft.
You do. He's got a cool.
Why do you got the coolest vehicle?
By the way,
you got the
hovercrafts,
dumbest
you know
thing.
what hovercrafts run off of? Diesel. So you're polluting the environment, you idiot
And
dog.
That's a goddamn 2-stroke, 500cc hovercraft.
Yeah,
It's,
that thing's just poofing out
smoking.
purple smoke like crazy.
Yeah.
I don't get the references.
Sorry.
You're not a mom.
I'm just trying to find Vega on Facebook.
Oh, you could do that? It never dawned on me that you could find someone else
I
on
know her
Facebook.
real name, and I think you went to school with her.
Really?
Yeah, if I shut all the mics off, I'll tell you. Hold on. Take your headphones off, and I'll do the move. Okay, ready?
Okay,
Remember her?
Why do I know that name?
Yeah, I know you know that name.
Hold on as well.
I never know any of the names you say.
Well,
You're
no,
like,
dude,
hey,
we've been doing this
our
for
best friend Jim is doing this. I'm like, oh, good for Jim. I have no idea who you're talking about.
Well, Vega goes on. Let's continue.
As a download. Does that make sense? I mean, I just listened to every OG show. Hey, Tom. Hey, Dan. Every Friday free show.
Oh, she's blazing.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom. I'm a little bit high, so I'm repeating myself.
Super hot girl
Oh
gets
my
high.
God! When I smoke one of these pre-rolls from True Leaf, I get so horny. Oh my God, Butler, where are you?
Oh, yeah. She's sweet on Butler.
Oh my God.
He's the best looking one in
I love your big shiny teeth.
Oh, hey, Seth. Every best of. Hey, Samantha.
Hey, girl. Hey, girl. Hey.
I watched that.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Vega and...
What the
What
hell?
was that? You go...
That's a grip truck trying to start.
How did you purr like a cat?
What is she asking?
I don't know
to
yet.
What counts as a download?
Oh, okay.
All of that counts as a download. Either hit play or actually.
Don't you have to listen to the first minute now?
Yeah, it's got to be a minute.
It's
Yeah,
got
I
to
was-
be at least a minute.
And I was getting to that. So, yeah, if you're
Yeah.
listening from the beginning of the show, you got to give us at least a minute for it to count for a download. And that is, what is it, IUA? I think that's the governing body that's trying to standardize what a download would be.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for calling, Vega. You are very hot. Let's go with this one.
What's up, Tom, Dan, Sam, Butler? It's Willie Billy Bob here. So I was listening to A Whole Lot of Love off of Zeppelin 2, and when it gets to the refrain, there's that little weird thing that Jimmy Page does. I was reading on it. They use some sort of oscillating effect in the mixing and whatnot, but it actually, to me, sounds like that old Mummy sound effect. I don't know. I'm not trying to make demands or anything, but maybe pull up the track and then when it hits that part, see how good the Mummy sounds over the top.
What is he talking about? Like when he's like whole lot of love, you know what I'm talking about? Like
oh, okay, yeah, I guess he is. Oh, that's good. I'm sort of me and Sam are sort of the music people on the show, and that I was like, what is he talking about? And I know the song.
Oh yeah, that's the first thing I knew exactly what he's talking about.
I can do that.
It's a whole lot of love. Whatever that.
Wow, I mean,
it's like a car driving by.
With their cover of Whole Lot of Love by Led Zeppelin, it's Tom Van and the Mummy. Are you guys going to do it?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Come on now. You need cool wire. Baby, I'm not fooling. I'm going to climb you. Like the school am. Way down inside, honey, you need. I forgot how much I like Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, there it is. A little bit.
Not bad. Not bad at all. Well figured out, sir. Well done. Well done.
It did what? So it's weird that they added that. It's like we need something.
He's just going like. It's just like a little.
Yeah, it's like the equivalent to the bass where you're like, doo.
Yeah, a little slide.
All right.
A little glissando. A little razzle dazzle. Little elbow grease on it.
Aren't the most like popular songs written the easiest? Like you hear that from all these people.
I think so. Yeah.
Like, we wrote this in 2 minutes on break or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like the most popular.
I think Led Zeppelin stole a lot of their music.
Yeah. well, it's a lot of it's just
old
standard
blues
riffs. You know, I mean, if you go back and just kind of wander through any old classic, old black blues musicians, you're gonna find a lot of influences. That's for sure.
Well, and then with everything though, it's like everybody's samples things or takes inspiration from some.
I think so. I think it's the
but not all of them become the biggest rock band in the world and profit off of someone else's written music.
Yeah.
Oh, they.
But it's only then though that I do think you get scrutinized as heavily.
Right.
Though I will say that in Led Zeppelin's defense, it's like Jimmy Buffett, and there have been a couple times when people are like and it's like he's huge, so of course that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Look at what happened. Not even 4 or 5 years ago with Robin Thicke and Pharrell.
Yeah. It's like you could probably go back through if we ever got huge. You could probably go back through our shows and then claim that we stole comedians' jokes and stuff like that.
Millions of times. Yeah.
Even subconsciously, we could have done it, not even remembered, or we could have had like-minded jokes.
That's why I always try to give credit, like with Bozos, to like It's Always Sunny.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's the key.
Yeah,
give the credit.
You got to give credit.
But sometimes I imagine that you think that you're
an original idea.
This original idea
happens all the time,
and that's how your brain works.
Especially comedians.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, "They're a joke jacker," and it's like,
or they're coming up with the same damn wall joke that was built by Mexicans
because it really wasn't that creative.
Right.
It's easy, so
happens
it's like
all the time.
Low hanging fruit, and a lot of people thought of it, and you're like, I thought of that joke. It's like, do you really want to take credit? Do you want to die on the hill of the old Mexican wall joke?
Just think of something else.
Get off that hill.
Take a break.
Yep. Bye.